Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Killer B, the goddamn Witchfinder General. Got Witch, I'm burning their asses up. I got my main man up on here, Chokmah and stuff. But he was a member with me in the IUIC cult. I finally got him here on the platform, and we're gonna burn it down today. I finally got somebody here that actually has some Indicode experience, if you know what I mean. I've had people that had family members in the cult. I had people that was in Torah Nights with me. I don't really consider Torah Nights like a real Hebrew Israelite cult. It was just some foolishness, but it was a cult. Don't get me wrong. But I got somebody like if you guys heard me say that you really don't know what's going on until you join the cult. What you get on these YouTube videos and stuff is the cheese on the trap. And when you join, that's when it grabs hold of you. JD Hill, what's up, man? What's up, Eric? Yeah, we're gonna burn it down and stuff. Hit up Sister Cherry and stuff. So we get her watching. Yo, what's up, bro? Rashana. I believe I'm pronouncing your name right. That's cool. We got you up on here. Yeah, waiting for Neggy Springfield too. He'll be up in here too. And whoever else come up in here. So yeah, we're gonna lay it down and burn them down. This brother has been slaying the dragon of the Hebrew Israelite cults. And he has been exposing IUIC. He was a member along with me in the Bronx camp, which was the head camp in IUIC, since the very beginnings of the IUIC cult. So you guys heard me talk about how I was a member of IUIC. This brother was right next to me in the cult. I left, but he stayed in there and he got rank and stuff. And he got to see all the foolishness. And this is Jennifer. Hey, what's up, Jennifer? I was talking about you the other night. And this brother has done a great job at exposing the things that were going on in the group. Like I said before, like myself, there's a lot. I left the cult and decided not to leave all my brothers behind. All these people that I call brother and sister all these years. I'm showing you guys, just like this brother has shown that he's been a real brother to the brothers and sisters that was in the cult. So there's a lot of people that leave the cult. They see all the BS and the scams and all the craziness that goes on, and they just leave. And they leave behind all the people that have considered them brothers, the sisters and stuff that consider these people brothers and sisters and stuff. What's up, Siberius? And yeah, y'all gonna hear some stuff tonight. Y'all gonna hear some stuff. Killer B in rare form tonight. Well, not really rare form. I'm usually always like this. But I'm a little more like this tonight. But anyway, we can get this thing popping. Talking about what's up, man.
Not know much. I know. We was talking about some things earlier that need to be spoken about. I
Yes,
will
sir.
put a disclaimer. I will put a disclaimer out there though, because I know I have a different perspective as far as I can be cordial with somebody even though we have scriptural differences, and I mean
Right.
opinions on scriptures. I say it like that. And a lot of people, if anything, and I'm gonna put it out there right now, IOIC will probably use this as an opportunity, especially ASAP on the Friday night rant that he does, to
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, see, oh, he fell out the truth or whatever. That's the first thing he gonna do. I know him like the back of my hand.
Yep.
So um but what's it called? I do still uh consider myself an Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, I don't necessarily condemn. So like, for example, Killer B. So like with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your situation isn't unique in the way that a lot of people have bounced around from one camp to another, and you get so offended. Honestly, after a certain point, you're like, man, none of this can be true if all these guys are full of folly and are a whole bunch of hypocrites, right?
Right.
Which I honestly, like, this is what's happening with a lot of people, and then these guys just sit back and they'll be like, you see, these people were evil anyways because they would have stuck around. Like, nah, you can't blame people for not believing in something where when the teachers are full of folly and malice and hypocrisy and everything else. Like, how do you take this book and teach all these things, and yet you got a double life? And not even just a double life, because there's one thing where you could have a secret life, right? But then you doing your own dirt, right? That's one level of wickedness. But it's a
Yep.
whole nother level of wickedness when you doing other people dirty, especially the vulnerable people that are coming to you seeking God, and you're doing them dirty. That's a
Right.
whole nother level of wickedness.
Absolutely.
So, so I one of the thing, when in talking about this things, my, the reason why I I I came on the show is to talk about these things that's going on inside, so people can be aware and not be afraid, bro. Like, just get up and have faith. If you call yourself, because here's the thing, no matter whether you call yourself a Christian or Israelite, right?
Uh-huh.
You quote unquote stand on this Bible, right?
Right.
But you afraid to leave an organization to stand on the Bible.
Mm. That's a good one right there. Yep. And they see the wickedness. They see it. Absolutely.
Exactly, and they see the BS, but because they're scared and their faith is not in God, their faith is not in the Bible truly, their faith is in man. Now they scared. They going because they don't believe, and that's the problem. A lot of these people yelling on the street and everything else. The truth of the matter is they do not believe. If you really believed in God and you really believed in this Bible, you would be able to stand up against unrighteousness, not try to justify it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we see that in other groups, like the last group that I left, Torah Nights. We got people still over there, and they see the wickedness, all the videos that I've done, and we have dealt with the man according to the scriptures to a T. The man refused to repent, and he chose to slander, bear false witness, all these things. And these things, according to the scriptures, you know what I mean? The penalty is death. You know what I mean? And I like to hold these people according to their doctrine. Even if I don't believe their interpretation of the book, I hold them to their standard. I hold them to their doctrine. And there's a lot of these people that sit there and lie and all this stuff. I said, okay, what does your book say about bearing false witness? You know what? These people go right on mute. They go right on mute. You don't hear anything out of their mouths after that. And it's like this sister Cherry, is one of the supporters of the group. I saw on their channel the other night where they had a crazy Israelite, and you know how Israelites like to change the subject. Even with the street teaching, they will change when they find out, okay, this ain't working out for me, or somebody asks a question that they really don't know the answer and there's nobody there to back them up. They will do anything to change the subject. They might talk about the person's clothing. Oh, sister, you're not supposed to be wearing pants. And just change the subject. So they'll always have something over the people. And when you know what they know, they have a fear of it. And that's what I see on my channel. The only people now, in the beginning, there were people that coming over there, they didn't really know who I am and stuff. And now they keep their distance. They watch, but they won't come in that chat. They won't come on this panel. I always have the link open for them to come on and talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it. And they never do. And it's only the people that really don't know who I am that come on. And then they find out real quick and they head for the hills. They head for the hills. But you, like me, have been in a real Black Hebrew Israelite cult. Like we're members. Like we walk this, we live this. And you know, I was in it for over 2 decades and stuff. You was in it for easy 10 years, probably. I don't know if you're in any other groups before IUIC. I like for you to talk about like how you came into it and stuff. But you were strong. Like you was a strong brother, like right off the rip. Like you saw it in your attitude and everything. Like you was a real one. Just like I said, like I was. Like you was a real one. So you're like one of the first people, if not the first, ex-member that have been on my channel. Like we had people that was in Torah Nights, but that wasn't an actual physical cult where you're actually seeing and interacting in real time physically with other members. You know, say Torah Nights was just like an internet Israelite cult where you have groups like IUIC, GMS, GOCC, ISUPK, and like an IUIC, where they actually have churches, or what we used to call them back in the day, schools, or what they call them now, camps. We were actually in it. This sister, Rashana, she was in it, and she was actually, I guess you could say, Israelite married to Christopher Day. And when she got him to kick rocks, he went and found a sister that was like 20 years younger than him. And this woman went across country to go stay with this man. And within a year, this man shot that woman in the face.
Wow.
Ayanna Sneed was her name. Yeah, Ayanna Sneed. Her family told her not to go. Told her, pleaded with her not to go. And she went over there. She wanted to learn the so-called truth. And she found out what it was real quick. And she was texting her friends back home, girl, this ain't what I signed up for. This ain't what I thought it was. As soon as I get my first paycheck, I'm out of here. But this sister didn't make it. And the people that this man was a member, the cult that this man was a member of, the Army of Israel, they said that he was no longer a member. But they kept in close contact with the man. And they said, oh, he had a drinking problem. He had this problem. But they said, and they even made the mistake to say foolishly, oh, well, you know, the day that he did it, we was going to go talk to him about his drinking problem and rebuke this brother. No, you wasn't. You agreed with that man. They agreed with that man. Me and Jennifer, the sister in the chat. That's cool that I know that who you are now. That's your name now, Jennifer. She's an awesome sister. You know, she's been through a lot. She's been through a lot of things and stuff. She was going through a lot when she joined the cult and everything, right? And they try to demonize her. And that's what these groups do. And they did that to Christopher Day. They demonized him after the fact when he shot that young girl, 19 years old. He was 49. And we had members and Torah Nights that had interactions with that man. That this man wanted these brothers to come visit him. And I believe it was Arizona or Ohio or something like that. I forgot where they was, Jennifer. I know you know a little bit more about it. I forgot a little bit. And said, "Oh, I'm a chef. I'll cook dinner for you brothers and stuff. You know, you come down here and you learn the scriptures and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Who knows what could have happened to them?" And man wanted a second wife, and he gave her an ultimatum to convince this other woman to marry him within a certain amount of time. And this girl wanted out. She wanted out herself. And she didn't make it home. And you, go ahead.
Now, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, now that you're talking about this, it's scary because, you know, I can only talk about or am willing to talk about IUIC specifically because that's who I had the experience with. But I'll say this because it with IUIC, the environment that it harbors is not unique only to IUIC. Like we were talking before, it's like these guys, it's like they got a pamphlet on how to build these cult like structures for organizations, right? And Nathaniel being the ex-detective that who knows, he might still secretly be, who knows what's going on with that, but you know, his thing is psychological warfare. His thing is profiling and everything else, right? This is what detectives do. So, you know, being able to harbor a certain environment or nurture a certain environment where they create these monsters, and then when these monsters get off the rails, they don't want any of their liability or be held responsible for creating what they create. You know, so they'll use them when it's convenient, you know, but you know when it's not, when it's inconvenient, they'll just discard them and separate themselves. So,
right.
You know, and this is, like I said, I'm only speaking to it because I was part of this group specifically, but it's not unique to this group.
Right.
And yeah, shalom to everybody in the chat. What I'm sorry, bro. I had interrupted you.
No, I was gonna say too, just like me, I have reported a lot on the Joy Morgan case, and I got it from you. You are the one that actually brung it out to the people. You're responsible for this. My first one and stuff, I played some of your videos. I got quite a few videos that I played. I did some commentary and stuff on your videos and stuff. And you are responsible for that. You are the one that actually woke up the people and say, look at what they doing. Look. And you have done a lot of work. There's been things that I've done on my channel where people just out of pocket. Pedophiles and all types of stuff. And you, just like me, actually do what you're supposed to do. And a lot of things, it comes down to contacting the authorities, right? And that Joy Morgan case, I haven't seen anybody talk about it except you, right? And they can't stand it. And they hate you with a passion because you did what was right. And we heard what Joy Morgan was saying, that, and her mother actually spoke on and said that young girl said, "This is my new family. These people love me. I'm home. This is my new home." And she went and called her stepsister or half sister, whatever you would call it, an Edomite. And she basically disowned her family. And she was going to school and stuff. And she joined the group. And from what I read on the thing, what the news was saying and what you were saying, that this woman started to wake up and say, hey, wait a minute. there's something strange going on. There's something that's quite not right. And this woman paid with her life. And now this woman's mother said, "Hey, where's my daughter?" And she said, she said, "This is my family. This is my new family. These are my brothers and my sisters." So she did, as a mother, she went to them. They got to know where my daughter is, because she chose them over her own mother. And those people went silent.
Yeah, it was awful how they treated that family. And which is more maddening as far as like how, this is why I said in one of my videos that they bold and disrespectful for even trying to use Joy Morgan's clip of her saying that's her family um for their propaganda, because the way that they treated their family, like um when she was out there, bro, they didn't even talk to her. She was asking them questions, crying and everything. They didn't answer her. They didn't offer no money for the burial. They didn't do anything for this family, bro. It was, you know who it was? It was actually other Israelites that put up funds. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Brother Matatua went out there, visited them, contacting, because he started looking into what I was talking about, and he started to realize that everything that I was saying checked out, and really, like, that was all God, because um how in the world is this young man, right, early 20s, in New York, getting all these details about the case falling right on his lap, and this thing is happening in London, and everything is just at it. And I literally, and here's the most ironic part. All I did, and this is what they mad about, I actually did what they teach, which is what the Bible says. This is the
Mm-hmm.
craziest and most hilarious part about it. Which it's not funny, but you gotta laugh in order not to cry, right?
Right. Yep.
The Bible says, in the mouth of 2 to 3 witnesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I went asking around. I went gathering witnesses, right? I went asking for all these details because different people got different stories and whatnot and different opinion. They'll put in their opinion, and then you have to discern. Okay, is this a reliable testimony, or did this person hear it from someone else? Is this firsthand or secondhand, third-hand information? Then you gotta like sift through all these people, and then confirm details from firsthand witnesses to each detail, right? So it was a tedious process sifting through all the information, but nonetheless, when you apply what is written, you come to the truth. It was so on point, as a matter of fact, that I got told that they actually used my videos that I put up online in the actual courtroom. So all of you can't tell me that God didn't have his hand in all that. So
Yep.
and it's literally what the book says to do. And also this is why it's just so blatantly obvious that this is something completely wrong, because how are you mad for me doing what the book says? And this is the same group that talks about supporting the authorities because they were the powers that be, right?
Yep.
But then when when they refuse to comply, and I go to the authorities with it because they're not complying, and I tell and I point and I give the authorities and tell them exactly what to do and where to find the details and where to keep where to find the evidence at, even in their own organization, and how to question them because they're slick. So I had to tell the authorities, nah, this is how you're gonna find, and this is where they keep their information and their logs and everything else. So
Yep.
I had, you know, how are you mad? How are you mad that I did that? You know, when that's that's what they promote. Now I apply it, and they're mad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And not only that, they came out with new stuff, signing this what you call it non-disclosure agreements. I remember when you bring that out, and for the people not to speak on the situation. What kind of human being, what kind of God-fearing person, what kind of person that consider themselves a child of the Most High, for a woman to lose her daughter and not know where she is, and they are the last ones to see this woman and not speak on it because the elders tell them not to speak on it. And that should be a red flag right there. And like you said earlier, these people follow the man instead of the book. You did everything according to the book. Just like when I left Torah Nights, I did everything according to the book. And it's just amazing how, like, you should have some more subscribers than me. And it's not about subscribers, but you have done such a great work. You know what I mean? And you done more than me. You know, I'm like, I can't even say what I wish on the coat. I can't even say live if I want to tell the truth. You know what I mean? But you have done everything by the book, and that's amazing, me hearing that they actually use your stuff in the courtroom. And they should. And I hope that some of the things I covered that they might use in the courtroom to convict these people. And it's real strange how the cult always wins. They always are allowed to fall back. Like you see that little GIF image where they got Homer Simpson falling back in the bushes. And that's what they do. And you know what's crazy? They've been doing this since the 70s, the 60s. They've been doing this. The same thing. They dissociate themselves with it and they fall back. It ain't me. I didn't tell them to kill nobody. I didn't tell them this. But they give the people the ammo. So, like, you know what I mean? They give the people the ammo. Some of these people are mentally insane. Some of these people are looking for the truth. Some of these people are been through a lot of things: abuse, family abuse, spouse abuse, child abuse, and they're looking for something. And they find this ideology, and they say, "I found home. This is where I'm supposed to be." And they join, they fellowship with other people that been through a lot of stuff too. And you said a lot of stuff, how the leadership manipulates people, they single people out. And Negi, I see you in the chat. I'm gonna let you on a little bit, but I want to give him all the shine right now, right? And there's some things I want to show you that you ain't seen. You might have seen it. I don't know if you see it because I didn't see you in that chat. I found an old cult chat that I was in, and Judah Nadager says your purpose in the group, and you're gonna be surprised about what happened. But this brother here has did so much. The whole thing with General Butt Naked, right? With the converting of that, and we was talking about that. We was talking earlier and stuff. We was going through a lot of stuff that we was discussing. And I told you I was gonna talk to my buddy. Some of the stuff I was off on, he explained a lot, but we dove into a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff is scary. It's pretty scary. But the work that you have done, there's no other Israelite out there that have done what you've done. Now there's other IUIC members, ex-IUIC members that had left. They don't mess with Killer B for some reason. I don't know why. I've supported some of them and like no response and stuff like that. But like, you know what I mean? I'm over it. Like, no, I ain't really bad. I understand. But I'm a little ratchet. I'm a little like loud and obnoxious and but Sister Cherry Love is a good friend of mine. I spoke to you about her a little bit. She's a diehard Christian. She's like the Christian Rambo. Like, I don't know nobody more Christian than Sister Cherry. And a lot of these people, Sister Cherry, support Sister Cherry. They don't mess with old Killer B though. But Sister Cherry rock with your boy. She rock with me. And even though I be cuss, you know what I mean? I say all types of stuff. I might do some videos on some stuff that far from Christianity, right? But she sees my heart. And she pulled a scripture the other day, and I was like, damn, that kind of touched me. Sister Cherry was crying on the stream and stuff. Sister Cherry, you ain't gonna be crying on the stream. I'm gonna get on you about that. Right? And she pulled a scripture, what is it? How the Gentiles not having the law, but having the law in their heart. I know you more tuned into the scriptures than me. I try to forget a lot of scriptures and stuff because like I got the cult breakdowns attached to it. You know the scripture I'm talking about? Where it says the Gentiles not having the law, but having the law in their heart. I'm kind of paraphrasing. You know the scripture I'm talking about?
I think that's in Acts.
Yeah, I believe it was in Acts. Right? I love that sister to death. Like, I rock with a hard body. Somebody messed with her on the top of their head. But yeah, the the Joy Morgan case, and there's some other people that left. What's the guy? Faithful to God, I think is one of them. Is that the dude that was with IUIC when they had the other elder that split off and started what was the name of that group? When I was up in there, the split had already happened. And his wife and Nate's wife had a conversation or something and was saying how Nate's wife was like grossed out by Nate, and the thing spread across the congregation and there was a split. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm like, should I see if I got to take my daughter or not? But anyways,
okay.
Repeat the question one more time. I know you said that you came because you had come way after Brock Shaw had left. Brock Shaw,
that was the dude's name.
Yeah, but what happened is so I came in February 2011. I was 17. I was on a new moon, and I think like 6 months before there had been a big split between Nathaniel and Brock Barr. Now, there's a lot of gray shadow area about what exactly happened, but Nathaniel, I don't believe a darn word that Nathaniel says. He will lies on everybody.
Yep.
But the general consensus, because he was saying that he was a thief and his wife was crazy. But everybody else I talked to will say that no, what it was is that Brock Shaw wasn't necessarily the yes man that Nathaniel wanted him to be, and therefore began to basically plot on Brock Shaw, like he has a long history of doing with two people, and then made him look evil, and then that whole split happened. So Brock Shaw, which the crazy thing is that these guys, like I think till this day, well, I don't know, because now Nathaniel got another house in Canton, Georgia. He got like a 6-bedroom house out there. I think I don't know if he is already renting it, but the plan was to rent his New York home in Newburgh to have extra income on that. But at the time, these dudes was living literally like a few blocks from one another in a private what is it called, a private community, a gated community. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Brock Shaw went and built Future World of Israel. I think he's still going now, and that is where Israelite Saints of Christ came out of, because they split from Brock Shaw. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
never knew Brock Shaw personally. I did speak to him once on Clubhouse, because he you can find him on Clubhouse. I don't know how active he still is, but for a little bit there, he was active teaching. Um, but so from there, like 6 months later, so in 2010 the split was, and then 6 months later, I come through, and this was when they was in that little hole, literally a hole in the wall in Brooklyn, right off of was it Eastern Parkway? I want to say Eastern Parkway, and the thing was so small that I mean, you could barely fit yourself into the bathroom. It's like it was like going into a closet,
Mm-hmm.
and not a big closet either, a tiny closet. Uh, so I think I still got pictures of that stuff too on my computer, and I remember that's actually, as a matter of fact, I think somebody was being put on blast that day. This guy named Yakov. Something happened, and I was just like, dang, like, what the hell? So, because Yakov was another one that saw through the BS. So I didn't understand at the time, but now in retrospect, he was he's like you, where you come in, you've been around, bro. Like, you from the old school, right? So
Yeah.
you've been around the corner. You're really your Nathaniel's peer,
Mm-hmm.
um, coming up in this walk. So, you come in here and, you don't take things as seriously, because these guys as seriously, because you came up with these guys.
Right.
You know them for and see them for exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike me and everybody, especially coming in at a young age, and everybody after me comes in thinking, "Oh my God, these guys just like popped out the sky, like, oh, just, the beam, sun rays breaking forth through the clouds on the, like, kind kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And like, these guys are regular Joe schmoes, just like all the rest of us.
Yep.
But that's not what the impression that people get when they come in. Like, if they don't, they think that this guy just came out of nowhere with this truth, or like this is something so unique and special, not knowing that the Israelite community is as vast as the sea.
Yep.
So um and so, and so does the rest of the world is ignorant too, because really the Israelite community is a sleeping giant. It's just that uh 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 when it comes to the West Camp, one West camps, they're the morning wood that you don't want to see on no man. That like, they what you don't want to see. They're the obnoxious loudmouths, and not all one West, but a lot of them. They give the rest of the community a really bad rep. Right, because I know some good brothers and from that come from one West, and they see the BS and they trying to fix it. So, but guys like GMS, IUIC and them, the rest. Like, they give the Israelite community a really bad rap. So, um, what was I gonna? So yeah, so you see these guys for what they really are.
Yep.
Um, so we didn't know. So Yaquab was one of those that like man, y'all, he didn't really take him seriously. And he just got caught up in a lot of stuff, and um eventually they got rid of him because he went to the wrong barbecue. Poor guy.
Right.
They kicked him out because he attended the wrong barbecue, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was almost as bad as the time that I met Tahar in person, and just because I was cordial and amiable and peaceful with the brother because he was a fellow Israelite, Nathaniel handed me my behind, stood me up, try to embarrass me in IBL. Terrible. Um, but I didn't know, I thought at the time, I thought, this is all just scripturally justified. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Was
So
you in high school when I was with you in IUIC? I know you was young.
Yeah. Well, I came in when I was 17. How old was I when we got to the Bronx? Because we wasn't in Brooklyn for too long. I may had already graduated high school when I met you.
Because I remember you guys did the college lecture. You and
Yeah, but
yeah, what's his name? Liam or what was
Liam
his
Mignon, yeah. Yeah,
Is
Liam
that brother
Mignon,
still in it? Is he
huh?
still in the cult?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, it ain't no it's BS, bro. The thing is, they just bro, I'm gonna tell you, Liam, Jan, Jalil, who's behind, I was getting on about his wife. Recently he got rid of her for no reason, just because leadership is telling him to get rid of her, because that's what
Wow.
they do too. Like, yeah, they'll get in your head, and I didn't realize what they were doing. Like, they even tried it to me, but I'm not. I may have made myself stupid, like in IUIC, out of humility for the scriptures. So I made myself stupid to these men, thinking that was a scriptural thing to do. But I wasn't that stupid, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm, I like to think that I got some sense, and these guys really thought. Well, they used to act like I was retarded, but the reason why they used to act like I was retarded is because I wouldn't do every little thing that they told me to do. I would always, my common sense was still in some way, shape, or form still shine through. Like, for example, when I saw Nathaniel completely disparaging Jan's character and Leon's character, making fun of his penis size and putting all their stuff out there and embarrassing, I quickly saw, I'm like, man, I don't know about this, but I guess the bishop is doing it. I guess this is good for tough skin, but I ain't about to get close to this guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, I used to keep a little cushion space. I still wanted to be around enough to be part of the clique, but at the same time, I will watch like, I don't know how close exactly I'm.
They
I
would
want
distance the northern tribe a little bit. They would kind of
that
keep
too.
them distant. I noticed when I was in it. Like you were
Yeah.
strong. You was like one of those like dudes, like you would have your chest poked out and everything. You was bout it. Like, know what I'm saying? Like you stand poke, you be have your fist clenched, your chest poked out and everything. Like you was a soldier. So, but some of the northern tribes, I noticed that they were kind of pushed to the back, but they had those two brothers. Who was the two brothers? That they were ex-police officers. I don't know why they was ex-police officers, but it was brought to me that there was ex-police officers, and they handled some kind of. They had some type of position. You know what was those brothers' name? One had glasses. I know they were brothers, and I think they were one of them, or maybe both of them, was ex-police officers.
Are you talking about the light skinned Northern Kingdom ones?
Yeah.
Nah, they wasn't they was ex-military, but they wasn't
Oh, but
ex-cops.
they told me there was ex-police officers.
I think not I can't remember correctly, but I think maybe that for a time they switched over and did some. Okay, so I think Aparium actually used to do private
Aparium, that was
security.
one name. Yep.
Yeah, Aparium used to do private security, like bodyguarding for a high end, high profile clientele. And then I forgot what Yashua used to do. So like out of the military, they got into other fields, but they didn't do that. They didn't stay doing that because Aparium got into some I forgot what he got into, some social media, some office job, and then Aparium was doing accounting. I mean, Yashua was doing accounting. Now the interesting about Yashua, see, Yashua is one of those characters that he's in Arizona. Yashua is that little dude in the back that you need to watch. Yashua pulls a lot of strings, but because he's not really up in front of the camera and he's short and he looks like you could just like slap him around a little bit, you don't really pay attention.
Right.
But Yashua is responsible for a lot. That dude right there is part of Nathaniel's mastermind. What's it called? I guess the counselors, if you will. He's the one over.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Because one of them, when I was doing the t-shirt printing, I remember one day I went all the way to the Bronx, right? And like I had to wait like 4 hours for somebody to come and open the door so I could print the shirts. And I was like, damn, this brother is in the same borough. I come in from Connecticut, right? And I'm taking time out of my work to make my money. I was an independent sales rep at the time for all these skateboard brands and stuff. And I would come down there to print their shirts. So I'm like, why, if these people, okay, y'all in the cult, you for the Most High and everything, you supposed to be putting me over everything else, like I'm putting the cult over everything else that I do. So I'm sitting. I remember one day I sat in front of on the steps of the school for like 4 hours, and this brother never showed up to let me into school. And it had Khalil, Steve D, he came and opened. He had a key, and he had to come to open up the school for me. Actually, that day, I think Sheb came and opened up the school. Actually, there was a couple times Khalil came and opened up the school for me to let me in, and I was like, "What's going on? Y'all know I'm coming. We already made arrangements. Why don't you have a brother to open the school for me? I don't have a key, right?" So I'm like, I'm looking at the integrity of these people that have rank. I didn't have no rank. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want no rank. My rank was my experience in the truth anyway. I already been in it for 10 years, right? So I was looking at everybody, children anyway, right? So it was weird to me, like, you know what I'm saying? And the brother was making excuses and stuff. I'm like, why is there an excuse? Like, you live in the same borough. Why can't you come open the door? You know what I mean? And Steve was the dude that came and opened the door for me. And I remember one of them that was teaching the martial arts and stuff. He was teaching the Bruce Lee, whatever they call it, the wing do or whatever it's called, the Bruce Lee technique or something like that. Where it was literally a joke. And
That's Ramaya.
That was, but that was one of the brothers. Wait, was that one of the brothers? Because the two
that
dudes were
Ramaya,
brothers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Now Ramaya was the one that he taught Wing Chun. So
Wing Chun, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And it was
Ramaya,
going on at the time when Shem was teaching the military cadence. And that's deep that you told me today that he wasn't in the military. He told me that he was in the military. So I was telling him on the way home, I was like, yo, you know, the original school, ISUPK, not the General Yohana ISUPK, but the original ISUPK, they would do the military cadence in Marcus Garvey Park. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to go over to Harlem and stuff back in the day, you know what I'm saying? The buy weed and all types of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I used to see them in the Marcus Garvey Park practicing the karate and all that stuff. So I told him about that. I was like, yo, we need to do that. Because I was always on something to better the group. And when I was in Torrey Nights, it was the same thing. And he went to the elders and stuff and talked about the military cadence. And he said, yo, I got it. I'm going to be teaching the class. I said, yo, that's dope, Shem. Like, you know what I mean? I always supported Shem. I love that brother to death. Like, you know what I mean? And he need to get out of that shit. But it was funny because when he was doing the military cadence, I had the knee surgery. You remember I had the surgery. So I was excluded. Like when I would mess up, because like anybody that mess up with the military cadence had to do push-ups. So I had the excuse not to do them. I know Shem knew I was bullshitting because I was just like, yo, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I am not doing no push-ups. Number one, I can't do no push-ups. Number two, I'm not doing them even if I could do some push-ups. But he had all the other brothers doing it. And I used to sit down and basically laugh at other brothers like doing it. Shaki knew like what the deal was. And I remember one day, me and Shaki was drinking and stuff. We sitting in the school. That might have been the same day. Yawasop was in his car, pissed drunk, literally pissed drunk. And he was so drunk, he's supposed to do a class that night. And he couldn't do the class. He was so drunk. Shem and the Jamaican brother, I forgot his name. His wife was doing the garments. They had to do the class because this nigga was too drunk. His wife kicked him out or something like that. He had an argument with his wife or something, and he was in the car. And I remember I was going into the car like, brother, you all right? Like, what's going on? That nigga was pissed drunk. And he couldn't do the class. And Shem and this brother had to do the class because he couldn't do it. I don't know where the woman kicked him out the night before or whatever. And he was sleeping in his car or whatever. It was funny as hell. But I used to give Shem an earful. Like every time we had to drive home, and like that was like an hour and a half drive. And I would give him an earful the whole ride. Like, yo, these brothers is wicked. Like, you know what I'm saying? They supposed to be doing this. They supposed to be doing that. And I would hold them accountable for all the things that they say. All right, we supposed to be keeping the law. Okay. We supposed to be keeping the law of the land. Okay. So I'm looking at the elders not keeping it. Labaka driving 140 miles an hour. Sheb doing 100. And have Lavaka fly by. I think he had the Lexus SUV or something like that, right? He'd be flying out, fly past us. Like, look at Lavaka doing like a $140, $120, $140 on the highway. And I'm like, damn, what happened to keeping the law? So, like, and Shem, he was a flunky. I hate to say it. I love the brother. He was a flunky. and he would do everything they said. And he had an issue with anger. I remember the Passover when all of you guys went to Florida. You remember the Florida Passover?
Yeah, which one? I only went to one.
When I came in, I think that, I don't know, that might have been that's the only Florida Passover as far as I know. But they had a bus, and I think it was like what, $400 or something like that for the Passover, and brothers was putting up money every week to save up for the funds to go, and they had a bus, and the bus, from what I heard, what they said, the bus didn't have a working bathroom. The bus didn't have AC. Now, I used to drive cabs. Bus drivers are under the same thing as a cab driver with the Department of Transportation. That bus ain't supposed to move unless AC is working. If the bathroom is working. And you got all that shit supposed to be running. And I remember the stories of people talking about, oh, it was hot on the bus. We didn't have no bathroom. So I don't know if it was a brother or something that had a bus, and they paid that brother to bring everybody there and charge them all the members an outrageous fee for the Sabbath. So I was like, yo, that's crazy. Cause like I was a cab driver, so I know the DOT laws. Like, know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, the AC wasn't working, the bathroom wasn't working, and y'all charging people like $400, $450 or something like that. It was a lot of money. Cause when I came in, brothers was already like over halfway through with their payments for the Passover. But me, Shem, Khalil, Eleanor or whatever, Shem's Khalil's boy, the other DJ, Ayana was there.
Elior.
Elior, yep, he was a good brother. Is he still in it?
Nah, he got a job with the MTA, and then he worked in the subway. And then last night I knew of him, and then he got with some other woman, and then he just basically never looked back.
All right, my man and shit. He finally got out of that shit. So it was a small group of people that stayed in New York. They had the Passover, and I remember the scriptures say that you're supposed to have a lamb, right? And it's supposed to be cooked with everything in it. So I presented that to the group, and they ignored me. I said, look, the scriptures say, like, you supposed to have everything up in the lamb. Know what I'm saying? They gave us a lamb chopped up like pieces, and it was rock solid. Like, they left the lamb for us. And I remember the day of the Sabbath, we was cooking the lamb at Shem's at Khalil's house, right? And we went and got we had to buy the salt for it because the only thing we could season it with was salt, right? And they left the lamb in the freezer at the school, and it was rock solid. I'm like, yo, what the kind of shit is this? Like, number one, we don't have a whole lamb. The scriptures say we supposed to have a whole lamb. We got lamb pieces. So, like, if y'all doing all this stuff, talking about keeping the law, why ain't y'all keeping the law? And I remember I went to them and told them, like, yo, look what the scriptures say. It's supposed to have the entrail, all that shit in the lamb when we cook it. They ignored me. So we had the Passover. It was a beautiful Passover. It was cool. We had a good time. Shem, when we had to go get the salt and something else, a charcoal or something we had to buy. And I remember we went to the store. It was like a little supermarket in the Bronx. And Shem crossed the intersection, and it was something with a woman or something, cut him off or something. But Shem slammed on the brakes in the middle of the intersection and got out and started cursing the lady out. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? This is the Bronx. Like, the cops is like, don't say you can't do this. I'm like, yo, who knows who this woman is? Like, we in the Bronx. Somebody could just like start shooting at us at random. Like, know what I mean? Like, yo, bro, like, do you know about the hood? Like, know what I mean? Like, you can't be doing stuff like what you doing. So like, I had to like basically like drag Shem back in the car. And we went to Khalil's house. And we had to put bad salt on the meat to defrost it. Luckily, it was sunny. And we was keeping the meat out in the sun trying to defrost it because it was rock solid. And we did it. We got all the stuff cooked and everything. We had a good time. And we had the Passover. Khalil was there. He brought his turntables and stuff. They even got me. I like to get that video and stuff because old Killer B was cutting up the records and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Killer B was cutting up the records. And I remember Ayana was singing. But she was from the Christian church. So she was singing like she was in the church. And she was going on singing and singing and singing. And Shem shut her down from singing. Because she was singing like she was in a Christian church, right? Ayana was a beautiful sister. Like, that was a good sister. I think about her all the time. She used to bug me out because she was always in my face. Shalom, brother. Shalom, brother. If I would have stayed in there, they would have pushed that woman to marry me. Like, that would have been my wife. Like, I strongly believe that, right? But she was just creepy like that. But she was a good sister, right? And they shut her down from singing. Like, all right, that's enough. That's enough. Or whatever. And we had the Sabbath. We had a good Sabbath. There wasn't too many people that we had up in there. The sisters made the unleavened bread and all that stuff. But the whole ordeal was like ratchet as hell. And I'm like, damn, these brothers went to Florida and I heard the stories about it. And guess what? You remember the garments that was being made? Because I made the new garments and we used the foil heat transfers to put on the garments. Like the menorah on the garments.
Yeah, the original.
And I found it strange. I found it strange that I didn't get a garment. Now, I'm the person in charge of printing the shirts and printing the garments, putting the stuff for making the garments for the elders and all that stuff. I'm like, why didn't take my measurements for the garments? And I felt some type of way from that. And I never pushed the envelope like, where's my garment? They're like, oh yeah, brother, you know, the sister gonna take your measurement and stuff like that. And I looked at the integrity of the people because I know what I was doing, right? I was doing everything possible to build up the so-called nation or whatever. And I'm looking at the higher ups. I'm like, yo, this sister is the elder's wife. The Jamaican brother. I forgot his name. Malachi or something like that was his name.
Yeah, Malachi.
Yeah, and I was looking at them like sideways. I'm like, damn, like y'all not even pushing me. I'm the nigga printing the garments, and y'all not gonna make me a garment. And like I felt like some kind of way. I'm up in there with my regular clothes on. So like, you know what I mean? I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the work of the Most High.
You're not the only one though, because they stole, like, they got me for like $120, and at the time that was actually for the camp garment. I mean, not the camp garment. It was a Passover garment, and which is a whole scam and a half. As it came out, with the whole thing with the pocket, the one they called the pocket, anyways. That whole thing is a hustle, the garments. So there's been plenty of times where people don't get their garments, they don't get their clothes, whatever, and they just keep the money. They don't even refund.
Yep.
Or people like offer to just like, because like you said, you're under the impression that you're doing the work of the Lord. So, or like, oh yeah, these are godly men, yeah, let them keep in there. Yeah, who cares? This is for God, So, but meanwhile, all that stuff is being pocketed.
Yep. And just like when I was printing all them goddamn t-shirts, right? And the dude, what was the brother name that was in charge of the royalty, United Royalty, whatever the hell that was called? The big dude, the big fat dude.
Huh? Wait, which one? Josiah or Bezalel?
Josiah. That was his name. Josiah. That was his name. He the one, I told him, I'm like, yo, like, this shit ain't what we supposed to have real shit. Like, these niggas I knew they had the money. Like, I'm like, yo, these niggas got the money to buy the proper equipment. Cause I was trying to get them to buy a big 4-color, like, press. Like, we had that little 1-color press and stuff. I was trying to get them to buy a 4-color. I'm like, cause I know you got them. I know y'all got the money to buy it. And they had the brother that was a carpenter. He was a Benjamite. He used to have the long goatee. I forgot his name. They had him come and he made a shirt board. I'm like, yo, you have to buy a real shirt board. And he made something out of plywood. I'm like, yo, plywood is not gonna do it. When I have to go to cure this ink on the shirts with that heat, it's gonna warp the wood. Like, it's plywood, it's gonna warp. And I found myself doing like 3 times the work just to print one shirt. And I'm like, damn, like, yo, why won't these people buy the right equipment? And they was doing bare minimum. And I kept complaining about it. And I was trying to talk to Josiah, because I'm like looking at Josiah, he can make things happen. Josiah went, or what they told me, Josiah went and said, your dad messing up the t-shirts. Right? And I'm like, well, goddamn. Then after Sabbath, Yawasop, old Frankenstein and shit with the droopy eyes, the dark circles around his eyes and shit. Nigga was probably smoking crack meth or whatever the fuck he was doing. And he brung me to Nathaniel and said I was messing up the church. Josiah said I was messing up the church. I said, well, get your Josiah. If he said that, go get him. They want to get him. Right? So I said, okay, how many shirts is messed up? Right? They didn't have an answer. I said, I'll pay for them out of my own pocket. Right? According to the scriptures. And they were shocked at my reaction. You know what I'm saying? They were shocked at it. And they didn't expect me to say what I was saying. So they didn't have nothing to say after. They were just stuck on stupid. And I said, okay. And they was like, yeah, we don't need you to print no more shirt. But you niggas, you still owe me $200, nigga. And I said, fine. Whatever. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, I'm out of here. I say, if these niggas can't do, these niggas is making mad bread. Because when I started, they was already back ordered with the shirts. They those people paying for shirts, and they didn't have enough shirts to ship out. That's why I was coming in 3-4 times a week printing them fucking shirts and have to sit out in front of the damn school for a damn 4 hours, 3 hours. There was many days I did that. And one day, like, because I got paid, like, my job, like, well, what I was doing, independent sales rep, I get commission checks. So I only get them checks, like, once a month. So I don't get a weekly paycheck. So I was basically broke. And I'm like, yo, I need this bread. They were supposed to pay me. And we had class that night and everything, right? So, like, I was taking a train there and Shem was driving me home. So I'm like, y'all, what's up? Where the fuck is you at? You supposed to be paying me. Well, I can't make it down there. Like, what the fuck you mean you can't make it down? I made it from fucking Connecticut. You in this borough. What the fuck you mean you can't make it down here? Right? So he's like, ask Hananiah for the money, one of the brothers for the money. I'm like, why the fuck I gotta ask one of the brothers for the money? You the one that owe me. You supposed to be asking one of the brothers for the money. So I went to Hananiah. I was like, whatever. I went to Hananiah. Hananiah gave me like, what was like $20, $40 or something like that, right? Just so I get home or whatever. It was something. And the next Sabbath, Hananiah looking at me like, where my bread at? I'm like, they didn't pay you? He's like, nah, they ain't pay me. So I went to Josiah or whatever and like told him, I'm like, yo, y'all supposed to pay this brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? He paid me. Y'all supposed to be paying me. And y'all push me to ask Hananiah for the money when y'all supposed to be asking for the money. And now Hananiah looking at me sideways like I owe him money. So like it was all like crazy. And the week after that, that's where all the shit went down. And I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Cause like if they doing this, and I know how much money they making, they was paying less than $5 for those shirts and selling them $20, $25 with the fringes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. And the stuff was back ordered. So they already got the money. They got the money. Why I'm not getting paid? If the white man printed them, they would have got paid. And they're like, well, you know, brother, they kept telling me, well, but you know, brother, you the only one getting paid here. I said, y'all the stupid motherfuckers. All of y'all supposed to get paid. Bezalel, Josiah, all of y'all asses supposed to get paid. Josiah living in a damn rooming house. I like the nigga living in a rooming house. So that say he was a security guard or whatever, living in a rooming house. I'm like, nigga, you supposed to be getting paid for all the stuff that you doing. And then they just fall mute.
Yeah. Josiah. Out of everybody, I don't know who they've done worse than Josiah, because Josiah really allowed them to run his life for like all his 30s, and they sucked him dry for his creativity. See, Bezalel wasn't, but Bezalel wasn't as simple-minded. But Josiah, they juiced him for all his creativity and hard work. They rode him like a mule, literally, no exaggeration.
Yep.
Like that, he was their personal mule.
Absolutely.
And they made so much money out Josiah. They ran that dude into some heavy depression. Like, the brother, pray for that brother, because he's somewhere. They did him so bad. That dude ran to somewhere into the mountains, literally. They're like just to get away from society and like find some peace. That's how bad they did that dude.
Wow. So I would like to talk to him and shit, like, about all this stuff. Like, yeah, you right. They was riding his ass like a mule. Yep.
That dude, he came, man. That's one of the saddest situations that I've seen. They destroyed that dude.
Yeah, he living in a rooming house. I don't know if some of the people listening, they live in different parts of the United States and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all know about a New York City rooming house. That shit's fucked up. I know what the Connecticut rooming houses look like. That shit's fucked up. Like, you got a room, like you got a box, like a jail cell, and you got to share the bathroom with total strangers. You got to share the kitchen, the refrigerator with total strangers. And I know, like New York City, I don't want to touch nothing. Like, you remember the chores they used to give us after the Sabbath. Like a brother sweep the floor, another brother clean the bathroom, another brother straighten the chairs up, and all that stuff. Nigga, I never cleaned that bathroom. I was like, I don't know who be up in here. I'm not cleaning no New York bathroom. I don't care what these niggas say. I used to just be up in the bathroom and walk out.
Hey, and this is a warning to people too. Yeah, you think you're in there, and see they only promote the marriages that appear like they're working, because in there you can't marry nobody they don't approve of. I mean, they got that. That's why they was always plotting on my marriage, the whole time, because they never had approved of that marriage. I went and got my wife from outside the congregation. So Nathaniel can't ever be wrong. So they was always plotting on my marriage. Same thing with Jalil's situation, because they never had approved Jalil's marriage. So that's another reason why they had to destroy that marriage, because again, Nathaniel can't ever be wrong. So now they got to make him appear like a prophet. So there's multiple agendas behind why they destroy marriages purposefully. And what's it called? Well, oh yeah. So with Josiah's, because he eventually put his foot down finally, right? He finished school, he got himself a good job, he started making good money, he got his own house, he moved to Texas, and he got married. Problem is, the woman he got married with, the leadership actually, because Josiah had an issue where he wanted a young woman, right? He just had this, he didn't want no woman with, he don't want no woman with kids or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And most of the women around his age were either taken or they had kids already.
Yeah, you don't want no old porter sister, bitch. Just like we had a brother that was in Torah Nights, David Israel, right? David Israel was a character. And he said he's been into all these different cults, Nation of Islam and stuff. And he said all the higher ups got all the fine women, got all the light-skinned women, and he want a wife, and they want to give him some old raggedy ass porn sister bitch.
Well, check this out. So Josiah, the woman that they actually hooked him up with, guess what? Guess who counseled that? The leadership.
Yep.
So the thing is, what they do is that they know how to pick them. And what I mean by that is that if let's say they don't want you to get married because a wife will be a distraction for you being a mule to them.
Right.
So like, okay, all right. We'll give you a wife. But the ones that they'll recommend to you is knowing that marriage is gonna fail, and that's what Josiah fell into. There's another brother who used to be a great asset to them when it came to real estate and everything else, and that brother I'm still close to, and he's making a ridiculous amount of money right now. He's successful, but he was wanting to get married and whatnot. They hooked him up with a female that they knew it wasn't going to work out with. So, what's it called? They counsel you terribly in there. Do not believe the hype. They do not believe the hype. They're following that counsel and whatnot. It's if they counsel, everything that they counsel is to fulfill a certain very specific agenda, whatever that may be at the time.
Yep. They did that with me. Even in Torah Nights, they try to push me with old lesbian ass Hadassah. They try to push that bitch on me. But yo, I feel kind of stupid though. I should have hung in there because the niggas would have gave me a wife and I would have just ran off with that bitch. I would have just ran like, listen here, bitch. We not doing this coach shit. I would have ran off with her and shit. I would have ran off with her ass and fucked that whole shit up. But Sister Cherry hit me up. She said she can't come on, but she gonna try to contact Mary Bennett. Mary Bennett came out here and told me her experience. This is a professional woman, was married for over 20 years, had grown ass kids, and her husband started watching that damn IUIC. And they gave him ultimatum. Hey, listen here. You're going to have to get your wife to submit to you and join this cult. If not, you're going to have to get rid of her. And this man was sick. This woman is in the medical field, did things that other wives couldn't do if their husband was in the condition of this man, that this man was in. He needed a kidney donated. This man got the kidney donation and had the nerve to say if he knew an Edomite was doing the surgery, he would have never took it. I wish the surgeon would have knew that shit and would have left that nigga with no fucking kidney, right? I feel Mary Bennett, if you feel some type of way, I'm sorry, but that's how I'm feeling. And you probably feel the same damn way. But the man got the surgery, right? Got his kidney, and I guess the Passover came, was time for the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. You know, you got a kidney. This is an organ from somebody else. Know what I'm saying? So you got to do things, and your diet got to be different and everything, because that kidney might conflict with your system. This nigga decide to, the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. He just eating unleavened bread instead of eating anything else. Just eating unleavened bread. And he got sick and had to go back in the hospital and almost goddamn died over the shit. Over IUIC. And I saw another funeral that happened. Somebody had died at IUIC or whatever. And the woman was saying, or somebody was saying that, oh yeah, he was doing this. He was fasting and all this shit. Like, if the doctor tell you got a strict diet, listen here, you got to do this diet to make this organ or whatever. This dude had a heart problem or something like that. And this nigga going to doing what he want to do. And guess what? That nigga in the hole right now. That nigga 6 feet and rotten right now. Fucking around with a damn cult. And these niggas, they put more faith in Nathaniel than they do with their own self and their own health. Like it's fucking crazy. Oh, Mary Bennett, you up in here? Yeah, I'm looking for you, Mary Bennett. I'm looking for you. Hold on, I'm putting the link up in the chat.
Hey, I have a question about Yawasop though, because I remember there was a time, I forget who, there was a situation with a girl and an accusation having to do with Yawasop being ridiculously drunk in a car, and then basically they were blasting somebody, whoever that female was, because of falsely accusing Yawasop of that, and you're the only person that I've actually heard confirm that story, and I'm thinking it's the same situation.
That nigga had the minivan. He was in the minivan, shit fucking face drunk. What's up, Nagy? I see you up in here. Shit face fucking drunk. Shit face drunk. And I'm looking, I'm like, shit, what's this nigga problem? Oh, he having a problem with his wife and shit. I thought he supposed to be an Israelite. He supposed to take charge of that. Right? And it's funny that all these niggas, and you see this across the board, this when you know the shit bullshit, right? All the elders always got a high yellow wife or a wife from the Northern Kingdom. They ain't never got no black wives. I feel them, right? I can keep it 100. I feel him. But this nigga done been through it, and the wife, you know what I'm saying? She don't not trying to hear that shit. They know the niggas ain't shit. Nathaniel wife know the nigga ain't shit. Know what I'm saying? They know these niggas ain't shit. Even Shed wife. Shed wife know the nigga ain't shit.
Yeah, that was a popular rumor being that or a thing that was spread around, and this is the funny part is that these dudes don't realize that all the men under them talk about their personal lives. Like that's how like we always like dudes used to come up to me, none of the leadership got their wives in order. Like they all disrespectful to them and everything.
Yep.
And this is while I was still in there.
Yeah. This nigga sitting in the car like a bitch ass nigga. Now, I know Killer B, when Killer B was in the cult, Killer B didn't play no shit with no women. Like Killer B did not play no shit with no women. Killer, it says your device not connected. You gotta connect the mic and the cam, Mary Bennett. Like, I was a hard nigga. Like, I was telling this other brother last night how I was showing him pictures and shit. Like, we was going over, like, women and shit like that, right? So I was like, yo, this the chick right here. I don't know if you remember, but I told her that I would cut her fucking head off and mail it to her parents. Right? And she was Trinidadian. She was East Indian. But I was trying to like find some way for her to be an Israelite and stuff. This is before I joined IUIC, right? But this nigga, he an elder. So he telling us we got to put our women in check, and they ain't got their own woman in check. They ain't got their own women in check.
But see, that goes to what I was saying in the beginning of this interview. The environment that these guys nurture, they a bunch of punks themselves, right? But like the Messiah said, they cross sea and land to make one a proselyte, but when he is made, they make him twofold the child of hell that they are. Yep. Why? Because we're under this impression, oh man, leadership is so hard. Yeah, look at them, they're so badass. They're so tough. Yeah, we gotta be like, and that's why. I mean, let me ask you a quick yes or no question. Me talking to you right now versus me when you met me. Is there a big difference?
Nah.
No,
not really.
I mean,
like
the way. Well, I'm maybe in the way that I'm not talking about how real I am. I'm talking about like you was talking earlier. Chest puffed out, fist balled up.
Yeah. You was a straight cult nigga. Like you was straight up. Like you was coated out. Like you was coat out, nigga. Like you had to you standing post. You got your hands clenched fists. Your chest poked out and everything. Yeah, like you was a real one.
You know why? Because I always wanted to join the military. Because of my uncle. I looked up to my uncle.
There you go.
And he was a Salvadorian jarhead. So now I'm thinking, wow, these guys are real. I believed it. I believed the front. I believe these guys are my generals, like that.
Yep.
Even though I saw that, I was saying BS, but this is supposed to be God's army. So my dumb behind is believing all this, the front that they're putting up. But, they faking it till they make it. Meanwhile, I'm living what they telling me to do.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing: when you actually apply what they're teaching you on the low, be strong and raw, and you gotta command your wife, and then you be a a-hole towards your wife, and things go south, and you thinking that they're gonna give you props for it. Now they turn on you, and like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up! I thought this was Bible. What happened to all the command your household and being a what? Wait, what? What do you mean? And this is the thing: they make these monsters, and then when you actually like about it, because this is what they teaching you. Because not everything they put it out there up front on Front Street too. You know, a lot of stuff is secret understanding. You know,
Yep.
this is how or counsels or dumb advice that they give you, right? So sometimes it's dumb advice because they're just dumb. Other times it's because they're manipulating you to fulfill a certain agenda, you know, for whatever purpose they have. So
Yep.
it depends on the situation. But me now, you know, I wasn't all laffy daffy when you met me and everything else. You see, I'm all laid back and cool and chill and
You
everything.
was all business. You was all business back then.
All straight business.
Yep. You was all business.
No chaser.
Right.
So, you know, and this is the thing that this is what they harbor, and then, but you know, if things go south, bye Felicia. You're
Yep.
gone.
Now, I got Nagy Springfield and Mary Bennett. Nagy Springfield was in the Tour Nights cult with me. Mary Bennett, I met through Sister Cherry. Her husband was in the IUIC, right? Now, before I get to them, after Sabbath class, what was the first thing? Because niggas be thinking I'll be lying and shit. What was the first thing the elders would do, or all the people on the podium or whatever would do? Soon as Shakia blow that damn shofar, what would go on?
Wait, you asking me or?
Yeah. What would happen at the end of Sabbath class? The first thing the elders would do after Shakia blow that horn, there's something that always went on after that. It evolved with them sitting at the table. What would hit that table right after that? Let me see if you know.
Wait, are you talking about the chant? The power is might, his might, his might. Are you talking about that?
Yeah. Right after that. Directly right after that. What would they do?
Wait. Everybody in general, or were you talking about somebody specific?
Them on the podium.
Listen to that. They brought out the liquor.
They bring the huh?
Go ahead.
They bring out the alcohol and the.
There you go.
There you go.
I tell people that, and I don't think motherfuckers believe me. The first thing you do, those Hennessy bottles hit the table. That's the first thing that happened. Soon as that, the power is might. The power is might. She will blow that shofar. Shakia will blow that shofar, and them Hennessy bottles will hit the deck. And even had me. I'll be going to the corner store afterwards. Get my 40 bottles.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody shit-faced drunk.
Yeah, we would go in groups together to go buy alcohol at the liquor store.
Yep.
Everybody not, you know, they would send a certain group, but they would run errands. They might go buy some more chips, alcohol, whatever else. But
yep.
Yeah, we would make them runs.
Did you ever notice that? You know how they would have them little discussions afterwards? They would get put the chairs in a circle and they all be crowded around Nathaniel, and how I would never be in the circle. I will always sit outside of the circle. And Nate used to observe that. He used to notice that. And I'll just be in the corner. I'll just be sitting there just listening, just observing. I wouldn't say nothing. I'd just be observing. They were like, yeah, Ellen Nathaniel. Especially that other nigga. What was his name? That was a school teacher. He was from New Jersey. I couldn't stand that nigga either. Oh, somebody else.
I'm trying to think of who was he, school teacher?
Yeah. He what was his name, yo? He used to wear the little stupid ass necklace. He used to have some old wicked ass necklace, like I think it was Native American or something. I don't know if he considered himself Gad or not, but he was a school teacher from New Jersey. He used to play the goddamn violin, the fiddle or violin.
Oh, Joel.
Yeah. I couldn't stand that nigga. I remember one day I went to it was the Sabbath, and I didn't wear my shirt with fringes. He said, "Where's your fringes, brother? You know, it's the law that you're supposed to be the friend. Wear your fringes." All right, nigga, if you don't get the fuck out my fucking face. Fuck your motherfucking fringes. Like, that's what I wanted to tell the nigga. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like, well, damn. Like, this shit is retarded. Goddamn, we got a full house now. I'm gonna get y'all in a second. Just hold tight. I don't know. Shamiam, but for some reason is not. Oh, it's a limit. Oh, I gotta kick one of Kurt. Okay, I kick one of Kurt things off and let you in. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was like, yo, nigga, like, the fuck out of here. Well, where's your fringes, brother? Like, what the fuck? Damn, I always got something going on. Hold on one second. Hold on one sec, yo. But yeah, let me announce some of the people that's on the panel. We got a cult crazy on here named Kurt Israel. I just met him. Nagy Springfield, who's been in tour nights with me, and you notice Nagy Springfield is what the cult would call the Edomite. We got Admiral Shamiam. Admiral Shamiam is what you would call I forgot what his tribe would be, because actually Shamiam all mixed up and stuff, but he's from Venezuela or whatever, right? We got Mary Bennett. I want Mary Bennett to talk first. Mary Bennett, you there with me?
I'm here.
All right, right on. We got a member here of IUIC, an ex-member of IUIC, that was in the group with me.
I watched Chokmah.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, you remember him? You remember Mary Bennett?
I don't know him personally, but I watched when Judah Mack left and the other guys and the big fallout with whoever the older guy was with stealing people money and all that stuff there. But you know, yeah, I watched all of that. So I did watch a lot of what Chokmah had to say when, you know, all of those guys left.
Yeah, so this brother was in there with me. So I told him a little bit about your experience with your husband and stuff. I don't know if he knows your husband or not. If
he might.
Your husband's name.
Because I know if they were affiliated with the IUIC camp, IUIC, I think I'm saying that right. If they were affiliated with the Atlanta camp or the South Carolina camp, then he would know my husband. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with those camps?
Well,
say it again.
The thing is that I would somehow, you know, get in touch with certain key people in other states. So I would have to see a picture or at least know the name. It may be that I maybe spoke to him in passing or something like that. Sometimes I don't know. The way that I would meet certain people, or you know, like it would just happen. So,
I mean, that's
what was his? What was his name?
He called himself Brother Uriel. I think that's how you pronounce it. Uriel Ben Israel now.
He's still in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's living on a I guess it's called I don't know what it's called. I guess it's called a compound. I don't know, sweetheart. But he stays in Columbia, South Carolina now.
He on a compound.
Yeah. He was still, you know, call and speak to my brother, you know, maybe once or twice a month or something like that. Because my brother just informed me that he had spoken with him And he said that he's living on a compound where, just his kind or his group of people live, and they fish and, all that kind of stuff there. And, I guess they call themselves living off the grid. Impossible, but they call themselves living off the grid, I guess. I don't know.
AKA living off the bare minimum.
Wait. Hold
Living.
on. He's still part of IUIC, and they living off a compound. That's
somewhere in Columbia, South Carolina.
See, yeah, I don't know. That kind of sounds like he might be a part of a different group now, because IUIC don't do that kind of stuff. They will probably hate. Huh?
But Chokmah, in the beginning, they was talking about that. They were saying, brothers, we could get an apartment and have brothers live together.
Yes.
And they could check each other.
I
remember that when I was in IUIC.
And that's
but that's
when he left, that's what they were going to do.
That was that, but a lot of times, like, if they do stuff like that, it's because,
they do.
It's usually something that people do without counsel or necessarily permission from the leadership. It's like when Deacon Abiel from Oklahoma, like when they started building all those houses next to each other, and they called themselves building community or whatever.
Yeah.
Guess who stopped that? Nathaniel.
Who stopped it?
Nathaniel put the stop on that because, huh?
Well, Chapman, the only thing I can say to that, sweetheart, is Nathaniel slacking. He's not keeping up. He's not keeping up the par right now.
No. What I'm saying is that when you see that kind of stuff, because that's what I'm saying, is usually because individuals got together and decided to do that. It wasn't
on their own.
On their own. It's not a
okay.
IUIC. Yes, it's not an IUIC effort, because anytime you hear IUIC talking about something like that, it's a money scheme behind it. Because when I remember Killer B, when were you there when Tahar was accusing Nathaniel of trying to steal all that money that he said that he was going to use for a building, and they never got a building?
When they had the church, they were trying to get a church or something, right?
Yeah.
Was that the one? Was that the one that they were supposed to be building in New York? It was supposed to be 2 blocks long or something like that?
Yes, they called it. They was calling it the X-Men School.
Right.
So there was a whole scheme that went behind that, or something. I don't know. From the brother that was dealing with that, he told me that they generally got robbed, but the way that went down, it seemed like that was some underhanded, thing where there was some money being passed around as an excuse as to why they couldn't afford a legitimate school anymore, and they just started renting a small building that they have in Mount Vernon now.
Chokmah, they pulled that same thing here in Augusta, Georgia. I have no problem with telling my location. Here in Augusta, Georgia, in 2016, when my husband came upon this stuff, and once he got in, and brothers, we're gonna build it was a place over here. Myron's not here. I don't know if Myron's in the chat or not, because I can't see it. But Myron knows exactly where I'm talking about. So we had I think it was like a tire place where they did you can go and purchase tires. So it was a big like warehouse type of building. So they giving money, and yes, my husband was dipping in our accounts and handing over money because they supposed to buy this building. It was the perfect spot. It was in the perfect location. It had plenty of parking. It's all of this stuff. These are the things that my husband was telling me while I'm here at the hospital, busting my behind, working 16, 12 hours. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that brother didn't do his job, because my husband was a damn good man. He did his job. He took care of his household. He did take care of his family. I'm not saying anything to downgrade him. I would be lying to you. I'm not going to lie to me, so I don't have a reason to lie to you.
Uh-huh.
However, he was dipping in and he was giving them money because they're going to buy this building and all the perfect things about this building. Yet, I'm still not buying any of this. He's still trying to encourage me to come into this truth, to come into this knowledge, all of these type of things. I'm studying trying to find out what good do you guys do? What do the women do? What are you doing for, what good? I mean, tell me, show me what, something that you guys are doing. Are you giving back to the community? What are you doing? But what I got was you're taking. You got your hand out. Gimme. I don't see you giving nothing back. I don't see you giving nobody anything. So my answer to that then, where my answer will be today and where my answer will be tomorrow, you could keep that mess right there. I want no parts of it. If that means loving you from a distance, guess what, brother? I love you from a distance. I love you with the love of Christ now. It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yes, you sent my family, your children, your sisters, your brothers. I'm glad your mother passed away when she did, so she didn't get to see none of this. So she didn't have to endure any of this. You know what I'm saying? Your sister passed away, begging you, calling me, begging you to come see her on her deathbed. But you allow another man to tell you, a man allow another man to dictate to you. Let the dead bury the dead.
Let me guess.
Let the dead bury the dead.
There
and
you go.
allowed your sister to be put in the ground. You wouldn't even go to her funeral. It's a shame before God that this had to take place. So when Judah Mack did all of his stuff, when he left, I sent Judah Mack, and what was the other guy's name that left with him? Bezalel. I sent them a message because Judah Mack was apologizing for some things that he had done. But I sent them a message. And I sent them a meme along with it. To put your heads down in the ground, because you did contribute to a lot of this. Yes, you're apologizing now. Yes, you did do some things. Yes, you have been. I'm hoping people forgave them. Because, like I tell Sister Cherry all the time, you don't have to take accountability for everybody. You only have to take accountability for the part that you played. Only you, not for everybody.
And if I may, now that you're talking about that, that's why people try to tell me, oh, well, you did this. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I can talk about it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
and I even told Sister Cherry, I can't do anything but respect these men. Because yes, what you did or however it happened, because you had no control over my husband saying, well, I'm going to join this group. You just did the part that you were supposed to be doing. The rest was on him. He wasn't married to me for 22 years. I mean, you weren't, you know what I'm saying? You weren't married to me for 22 years. You didn't have raised children with me for 22 years. We didn't struggle and buy cars and houses and things like that for 22 years. Me and that man did. Me and that man build on a foundation and build our little thing together. You know what I'm saying? It was not his sweat and tears. It was our sweat and tears. It wasn't him at his job for 13, 14, 15 years. It was me at my job for 16 and 17. You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing that no one can tell me as far as, did this thing hurt you, Mary? Like hell it did. Did it send me into a tailspin? Like hell it did. If Sister Cherry's in the chat, she can tell you it took me through something. But by the grace of God and his loving mercy, I humbled myself. I sat it down. I stayed focused. I stayed prayed up. I continued to cry at night, clean up, straighten out my crown, and bring my behind to work, and still manage to work, do 12 and 16 hours. And I work in a mental institution. So with their psychoticness and my depression, where the hell do you think it put me? But you know what? I go again and I say, by the grace of God and his loving and kind mercy, I made it through. You know why I made it through? Because I continue to believe. I continue to have hope. I continue to pray. I prayed without cease. And I came in here and I struggled, even when I was at work. And I had to shed tears. I excused myself. I went and did what needed to be done. I straightened it up. I fixed my face. And I took my behind back out there. Because at the end of the day, I still had people who needed me. I still had people who were sick. I still had people who needed someone to talk to. I still had people who needed me to be there for them in all levels and all walks of life. Not just my color, not just another woman. I'm dealing with it all.
I want to say something. I want to. This is Kurt. I just want to say something to you. As a 54.
Hi, Kurt.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm all right.
As a 54-year-old, I have seen a whole lot, and I'm understanding everything you're saying. And I just want to let you know, I congratulate you and your husband because you still maintain when he was still searching for maybe his God. And at least you understood that part, because we all always want, we be wanting to work together, but we do need God, So even at 54, I'd be sitting here like, what? Things happen. I mean, I have problems, I might be having a problem with one of my properties about to be foreclosed on. But for some reason, I find a way, and then I find the money. I don't know what the blessings is coming from, but it comes. So I got to let the ladies know on here that we all seeking God. And even I was listening to Cheryl's show. She didn't know I was tuned in to her. And when she put in a series, I literally listened to the narrator talk about the Messiah and Jesus, and it was soothing to me because he were telling a story, and yet it was soothing. So I get something even from when I listen to Cheryl. I wish we all would have just met first so I know what we're talking about. But as a Hebrew, it ain't that I'm a Hebrew because I want to join an organization. No, I really.
Hold on, Kurt. Don't start that goddamn cult shit, because we got
No.
five
That's
motherfuckers out here
for
gonna
fun.
flay the shit out of your ass, and I'll let Sister Cherry out here in a minute.
I see her, but but I see her, but also she had a series still saying Jesus, Messiah, and it went back to Genesis. I'm like, well, okay, I do know that Jesus is back then too. So, and I try to understand her. It ain't that I'm debating anyone. I try to understand her. It's no way she can have that belief and not have an understanding. So I hated to come on your show and start debating who's a Hebrew, who's a Christian, because technically I just tuned in because I thought you were talking about the Hebrews. I didn't know it was going to be bashing, but I just want to let you know.
Yeah, we smoking boots tonight. This might be the wrong stream for you.
Excuse me, Mr. Kurt.
Yes.
This is not a bashing session, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling my testimony.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. This is not a bashing, not from my half.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So
go ahead, honey. I'm
was
listening.
Like a Hebrew, or what was he practicing at the time? He
was in a damn cult.
Well,
that's nothing to be said. That's all that needs to be said. He was in a damn cult. The goddamn black Hebrew Israelites.
Well,
which is a cult.
This is what I think we should try to do. I believe that Hebrews and Gentiles need to form the heavenly government. And
All right. Kurt. This is what I gotta do. Kurt. This ain't time for that shit. We not doing that today. Because I know where you about to take it. You my man, you funny, and you the only Hebrew Israelite Colt Weirdo that I let up on my channel as of like last week. You know what I'm saying? We find you funny. But this ain't the show for that. So you can sit back and listen. And I suggest that you sit back and listen and hear the pain. Know what I'm saying? That the cult has put on these people. Know what I'm saying? So I'm not putting your ass on mute because, know what I'm saying? I don't like you and shit. I think you're funny, right? Know what I'm saying? But we beat up on you. You a punching bag over here. That's how what you gonna be over here is a punching bag. Long as you in the cult, we gonna box the hell out of you. So, like, I'm gonna let Sister Mary talk. We ain't gonna have no talking all this Genesis and the state of city of Philadelphia is one of the 7 churches. We not doing that today. Go ahead, Sister Mary.
But may I say something real quick because
go ahead, Chokmah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to, daddy duty calls. So
I hear him.
But we can continue this because real quick, and this is kind of to address what Kirk was saying. This is like, bro, you gotta understand something, because I still think that I'm an Israelite. I think I disagree with a lot of the doctrine because it's been tainted, right? But you gotta acknowledge that these dudes is out here on the highest level of sorcery, twisting, doing the same thing that they accuse the white man of doing, right? Twisting these scriptures to violate not even the heathen that's called out that they call, right? They doing it to their own people. Yeah. Like at least let's just like play like this, like unbiased third person perspective. Put yourself outside the box, right? Mm-hmm. At least you want to talk about the white man so bad, right? At least the white man, they be doing them people wrong, but guess who they really get on? The other nations that there's not of their own people. Right. These guys claiming to be Hebrew Israelites, the people of God, they calling themselves gods, right? Psalms 82:6, brother, we gods. But you then stomping on the gods. Mm-hmm. So this is what you gotta focus on, Kirk. Like, this is why a lot of people be coming on my channel commenting like, oh, this is what the white man likes to see. See, this is why us fighting each other and blah, 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 blah. Bro, according to your own doctrine, if we're not righteous, guess what? Ain't no kingdom. Christ ain't coming back. Remember how Killer B you saying you judge by people's own doctrine? I be doing the same. I be doing the same thing. I'm like, well, if I'm to, and I still, again, I hold that I'm Israel, right? I still wholeheartedly believe that. But
and there's nothing wrong with that, though, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Right, but see, here's the thing. I'm trying to like have Kirk, because Kirk is just trying to save face to the gospel or whatever he, what I'm saying, to the message. But you can't do that if you're not acknowledging the wickedness that these men are doing.
You're correct there. You're correct there.
You can't. And that's why I'm doing this, because as ASAP's gonna have a field day with this.
Oh yeah.
But I don't care, because I'm trying to save people the suffering that you went through, Mary, that I went through, that Killer B went through. Right? Yep. This man has you said 20 years going from camp to camp, and you finding that it's just a remix of the same old BS. Of course, people gonna lose faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? But you know what, Chokmah? You know what? And Killer B, and to your listening audience, I'm gonna be wholeheartedly honest. My ex-husband joining IUIC It took me 3 years to realize it, but it was the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Again, I successfully been promoted twice at my job. Y'all, I'm looking to get somewhere and sit down now. It's about retirement time for me. And then I just closed on my home. And had I been with my husband, none of these things would have taken place. See, I had to put some belief back into myself. I had to get me back. I fought hard to get me back. See, because as a young girl, I was a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? I hustled, you know. I mean, I worked. All my years when I first started working, I worked. And my fruits have, my works have bared me some fruits. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm working on grandbabies and things of that nature. So I'm good. I am good. You know, I think it was on, if Cherry's still in the chat, she may remember. I can't remember whose show I was on. I don't know if it was her platform or somebody else's, but I said that that would be the last time that I would discuss my ex-husband. And tonight, unfortunately, not tonight, but I'm preparing to go to New York because my dad passed away. But I was just happened to be in the office and Cherry was like, "Hey, Killer looking for you." And so I got on. I don't even know what I'm on here, what your topic was for tonight.
Uh-huh.
But I heard you was looking for me.
Yep.
So I came.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to go on mute and I'm just going to continue to listen. Unless you got questions. If your people got questions, I'm on mute, but I'm listening. Just ask the question and I'll do my best to answer it. Now, for anybody in here, in your chat, looking for me to be coming with a scripture, all that stuff, I'm sorry. I'm not the one for that.
Yep.
Okay? I'm not going to do all of that. So with that being said, I'm going on mute.
Yep. And I kicked him out because he was being distractive. Right? Now, like I said, I keep it 100. I like old dude. He's funny. Like, we don't take him seriously. You know what I mean? We don't take him seriously. He come out here and cut fool and stuff. Once in a while, we cut fool up on here. Right? But this ain't the show for that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put him out. But we got Neggy Springfield up on here. I know Neggy Springfield been waiting to talk for a minute. Go ahead, Neggy Springfield. You got any questions or any comments or anything? This is my right-hand man right here, Neggy Springfield.
Yeah.
My ace boom cool.
I tried to be. But it's just very interesting to have someone who was in IUIC, because what I remember of IUIC is I remember every time I'd click on one of the videos, I'd know it was going to be something, not... Back then I used to be into the whole Israelite thing to learn. So when I would watch certain camps, you'd get different things from different camps. Like ISUPK, they would do the whole, militant thing, the whole, yell at people type thing. I just wanted to see how crazy they would get. IUIC was more like the ones that would spaz out every now and then and maybe say something crazy and get caught on camera. So, you could always hear something funny with them. So that's the only thing I really enjoyed out of IUIC. So when that one dude, this isn't funny at all. It's not funny, but we can laugh about it now. Remember when the whole thing happened with Trayvon Martin?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Trayvon Martin got killed by whoever. Then IUIC comes out with a hot take. They said he got killed because he was rebellious. I was like, really? These guys are pro-black and they're saying a black man got shot and it's all his fault.
Yep.
So that was IUIC for me, just wilding out.
Oh, Chokmah fell off. There you go. You back in. We got Sister Cherry up on here. Sister Cherry, you got any questions or comment? I want to hear some of y'all questions because this brother is like me. You know what I'm saying? He got experience in like real life in real time in the cult. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna have him up on here again because we ain't cover everything that we had an ill ass conversation earlier that we want to bring out and stuff to y'all and stuff.
So
I'm
yeah,
not.
I do have a question for him. Did he ever hear any crazy stuff come out of the leadership? You know, like crazy statements about, you know, current events or whatever.
I mean, whoa. When are they not saying something crazy? I mean, as
Like
far
on
as
par with the thing that I mentioned. Have you ever heard them just say that someone, you know, got what they deserved or something like that?
yeah, if you go back to, and I wish I had the time, but I'm too busy trying to keep my family afloat. I, if I had the money and the time, I would go back and listen. All you got to do is go back and look at the rebuttal videos that they did for the Joy when they were trying to do the whole Joy Morgan cover up, right? Nathaniel was tossing innuendos as far as like, why do you care about another? Okay, he was going to Esdras where Esdras was being told about by the angel, something along the lines of, um, oh, because he was telling the woman like, yo, stop crying, you know, it's enough. You're all right. Your baby died. You can have another one. So he used and twisted that situation in the Apocrypha to then basically say, long story short, insinuating that why do y'all care about Joy Morgan? So you didn't know her personally. All right, she died. Keep it moving, type deal. So and if you notice, there was a point. This is how I knew Nathaniel was on some BS, and he was feeling the heat and the guilt, was because there was a point where he almost broke character, and it had to be one of the juiciest things that I could see on camera, because Nathaniel is on such a high horse
Mm-hmm.
that he was a hairbreadth length from breaking his character. The mask, you could see the cracks on the mask, and he was about to flip tables and curse everybody out, and he stopped himself. And he was starting, it was trying to mask up that whole thing. I mean, besides, other than that, like off camera stuff, I mean, he's talking about dudes generals, and he talks about women being freaks in his congregation, and he'll talk to the deacons, or yo, yeah, this sister here, this that, all kinds of madness, right? You know how people are disposable. I mean, you like, there's too many things. Like when you really get to know this dude, and then he uses scripture. He twists scriptures to justify this stuff too. So, you know, y'all don't know the real Nathaniel. You don't know him. Not at all. That character he puts up on camera is just that. It's a made up character. The craziest part about it all is that the dude is so prideful. He tells us himself. Like, if you really pay attention, that's the thing, is like people don't pay attention when he talks. Like, if you really paid attention and kept records in the back of your mind, all these years being up under him, you would hear him telling him on himself. He tells him, "Oh yeah, I practice in the mirror. I'm teaching this, that, and the other." Bro, he's telling you he practices this whole act, this character. You know how easy it is. Like, if I wanted to replicate what Nathaniel does, like once you identify it, like I could literally. And the scary part is when I really realized it is when I was doing a mock, right, of them, you know, the like a street teaching. And I realized for the first time, like, oh snap, like this is it's a psychology thing. You speak all powerful and you read the scriptures a certain way. It's a psychological thing. It reels you in. It's like the scripture says, like it's like a sweet song. Like, man, it sounds good. It sounds
it's so funny you said that, because one time I was thinking, in my mind I was doing like a GMS parody, and the funny thing is, it didn't take very long, but the parody almost became too real in my head, because it was like I was starting to get into it, so I was like, I had to pull back. I had to go, okay, reality check.
but that's the thing, and what it is, and what I identified is that what these see. Here's the thing: a lot of people focus on the wrong thing. Whether you're Israel, you're not Israel, everything else. The part about the doctrine that's demonic is that everything about the teaching is to feed ego and the carnality in people. Like everything about it is the ego. Oh, you're the God, and this, that, and the other, and that's why these dudes lose their heads, and then they're treating their women like trash. Like, one thing I'm hearing more and more, even more now than before, is, I'm the head, I'm better than you. These is men telling their women, not even just their wives. There are men telling their sisters that, not working, mind you. They telling their literal sister that that's not your wife. That's your biological sister. I'm your head. I'm your and then other dudes that just telling random women that are following it, like, I'm your head, bro. No, you not. You ain't married to these women, bro. Like, what do you like? It's some real like egotistical maniac stuff going on with these men, because they haven't been ish all their life, and now you use the Bible to put the biggest battery in their back, full of pride, and like the scripture says, a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. The Messiah told you, beware the leaven of the Pharisees. What does leaven do? Puff you up. And that's what the doctrines of these men is full of. It's pride, ego, and then how they reel you and keep you trapped is by attacking your ego. That's why all they do. When you really stand back and watch it, these guys, right? Asaph and them, it's some real high school stuff.
Yeah.
Like calling me Chinese boy. Well, I could call you Master Splinter in the face. But then we both look now we both some high school boys, name calling at each other. But
I
who
call
looks
him
worse?
Frankenberry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go binge watch some of those IUIC videos, because I
But
need to watch some of this. It sounds like crazy stuff, but I like it.
but what I'm saying is that, like, it's all comedy, ha ha he, but it's full of pride, and everything is, like I was so condescending. For it's just the pride, and it feeds the carnality. There's nothing spiritual about it.
Right.
Besides the repeating, you got to keep the commandments parts. But then how they teach you to apply the commandments is all carnal.
You hear that? It said it feeds the carnal stuff, and that's what the cult does. None of these people are spiritual or believe in that book. They embrace all these so-called teachings to be better than somebody, to rule over somebody, to feed their ego, to say, hey, look, you picked on me all of these years, but look at this. The power of the Most High is in me. God chose me, and we gonna kill you, nigga, when Yahweh Shai come back. You know what I mean? That's what they use this information for. And we see it. Nagy see it in Torah Nights. Like, me and Nagy saw it in Torah Nights, and we look at their streams and stuff, and we was like, well, damn. Like, I could watch their stream for 5 minutes and make a 3-hour video off of 5 minutes of watching their stream on the wickedness. Just the wickedness that they do, and the lies, and the blasphemy, and the bearing false witness, and all this stuff. The bearing false witness, you're supposed to die. You know what I mean? And these people will sit there and lie and sit there and back the cult leader. put their own self in hell to back the cult leader. It's unreal. Sister Cherry, you still up in here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Yep.
listening.
Go ahead, say something, Sister Cherry.
Um, well, peace and blessings to the panel. I've been listening to this is a pretty deep conversation.
Uh-huh.
Also looking at what's taking place in the chat. It's a deep conversation taking place there too, in conjunction what's going on up here. Um, this is what we've been talking about, Killer B.
Uh-huh.
What you hear right here, this is the result of an occult. The occults hurt people. It damages people. And it takes people out their character. And I constantly tell people, um, these type of occults, when your life is shattered to
Okay.
pieces, they
Oh,
don't help you pick up the pieces.
right. Hold on 1 second, Sister Cherry. Chokmah gonna have to run. I wanted to say his last words before he go.
That's fine.
He was known to me as Gadaliah. And what's so important about him having him on the show, he knows me personally. Like he see me in real time. He knows who I am. Know what I'm saying? It wasn't no internet Israelite thing. Like he was in the cult with me. Know what I'm saying? So we gonna do some more videos with this brother and stuff. He's a good friend of mine, right? So Gadaliah, you got any last words and stuff? I know you said you had to dip out and stuff.
Yeah, because the wife and baby waiting for me, so you
Yep,
gotta
I
give
hear
them
the
time.
babies. God bless them. God bless the baby.
Yeah, and that's another thing that they don't teach you in IUIC. You gotta neglect your family. So I ain't trying to repeat the mistake. A lot of the things that I'm talking on is from a lot of hard lessons that I had to learn from applying scriptures according by the commandments of men and not what the Bible actually says. So a lot of everything that I do is in reflection of not repeating the same mistakes that I did under that organization. Because that's what they teach you. They teach you to neglect your family. So in the name of God, mind you. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, we could do. I don't know if you want to do another. Whenever you want to do the next show, we'll have you. I'll get on again because there's
Yeah,
so
you
much
got
to
the
cover.
floor
There's so
all
much to
day.
cover, huh?
Yep. We got a lot to cover. We got a whole lot to cover. And you got the floor anytime you come up in here. Just like Sister Cherry, just like Leggy Springfield, Mary Bennett and stuff. You got the key to the channel all day. So anytime I'm on, you got the floor. All you gotta do is just jump up on here. Now listen here, Killer B. This is what I want to talk about. And you got the floor. And we're gonna run these niggas in the ground. I know I would have cussed, but Sister Cherry up out here, I curbed my cussing with Sister Cherry up out here. But Cherry know how I get down. But yeah, we gotta get you on Sister Cherry show too, and Eggy Springfield show. So we gonna get your subscribers up. So like YouTube and stuff will get you up in there and stuff, recommend it to more people and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like it's been a long time. I've been wanting you to be up on here, but you finally made it and stuff. And like, yeah, man, like it's a blessing to have you up on here. It's finally somebody on here that know me, know what I mean, that actually see me in real time. You know what I'm saying? So I got plenty of shows planned and stuff for you. So yeah, man, I appreciate it. So if anything else you want to say or whatever before you leave and say go ahead. Like I said,
Yeah,
you got the floor all day.
yeah, but peace and blessings to everybody. And Sister Sarah, Sarah, I don't know if you saw my message on the YouTube, but hit me up. If we can help that sister out,
Yep.
that'd be great. Hopefully that's sad that that's nothing new. Unfortunately, that's a lot of sisters that are used up and tossed aside and done extremely dirty. So You know, that's one thing too. I will say this, Chair. Even though we got a differences, you should what you should do is you need to do something with the with all these women. You know,
Mm-hmm.
IUIC. You know, hashtag IUIC destroy my marriage, because you know people think that we just making stuff up. Like yeah, look, like I say like this, right? You know, this might sound irrelevant, but it's important. Bill Cosby, right? They brought out all them women on him, right? But guess what? Even though, I mean, personally, I don't think that he raped all them women. Guess what? The conditions was there. Everybody knows what people do, women do at parties. With you know, Bill Cosby was in
Yeah.
Hollywood
Yep.
parties. Right? Yeah, they go and do drugs. They know what they're going there for. But had he
Yep.
not participated in the foolishness and wickedness in the first place, guess what? He could have never been accused all these years later. So it's the same thing with this. Yeah, okay, some of these women may be off, but most of these women were either forced into it by their man, or they were brand new. They weren't fully reborn creatures. So yeah, they might have sin on them, but guess what? They can't all be lying on what happened to them. It's like, and it's the
Yep.
same thing with the Pharisees. And this is what I wish these sisters would really do: is gather together and put their voice out there to warn women so they don't experience what it is. But a lot of these women is fearful because they don't want their business put out Front Street, and that's what it is. But if they all banded together, it wouldn't be that easy. So then, because what is the Israelite community going to do? What is what is IUIC going to do? They're going to go on a limb and go and try to blast each and every single one of them. They're going to lose. You're
Yeah.
going after each and every mudslinging on each and every one. They're going to lose credibility. They can't. So, you know,
Well,
somebody's got to
can I
put
say
these.
this to you, Chokmah?
Yeah.
Chokmah, can I say this to you? I guess you might be a little sleep on Sister Cherry. Because
Yes. This is
I have
scary
been
like a
counseling women
sledgehammer.
from I've been counseling women from IUIC and ISUPK and G. I have literally gotten, oh my God, over the years, past 4 or 5 years, I will have to say my count is up to almost 900 women that have literally
Damn.
walked away from that occult. So I've been in this.
Cherry, you're gonna have to share some of them with me.
No,
900.
but what I'm
Mama
saying
Mary is
is,
one of talking to one of them, whether they've been in it or they were against it. I have helped plenty of women who have been in that occult, and all of this stuff that you're saying, we've been saying this since 2016. All you got to do is go to my channel, you'll see.
Yeah, Sister Cherry, no
yeah,
joke.
but are they all putting their testimonies out there like that?
hmm Nathaniel know who I am. He
Yeah,
can't
Sister
stand
Cherry,
me.
no joke, bro. Like for real.
I'm gonna check that channel out, because I never seen, because it's got to be something, because how all these stories out there. And one of the things, and the unfortunate part is I helped create this monster, right? So the reason why they're so strong online is because at the time I was I really thought, oh, this is the truth. We got to take the truth to the next level and blah blah blah. So I was doing, in the beginning, I wasn't putting their pictures up or anything. It was literally just quotes and pictures and scriptures, like we're describing, let's say, what a scripture was saying, whatever, but never no personal picture of Nathaniel and them. And Nathaniel didn't know, because he's such a control freak, that
Mhm.
he wouldn't let anybody, like, if you wanted to do anything, you had to do it on the low, even if it was for the benefit of either the gospel or the brand, right? So I
Mhm.
did it for like 3 months, and things started circulating real well. And Nathaniel lost his nut, his screws. So he was like, "Who is putting these scriptures, this stuff out here with our logo? Who's doing this?" Mind you, everything I'm putting out is what IUIC teaches. But because he wasn't in control, and it was the end of the world. So he shut me down finally when they found out it was me. But then they turned around and replicated my whole system and had somebody else over it. So one of the things that they do is that they flood the YouTube algorithm with IUIC, blah blah, so on and so forth. So I'm wondering if, like, part of the reason why these stories ain't getting out is because they're being flooded, or like what? So I'm gonna check your channel out, because women got to be able to share these stories.
Here's the thing: they've been sharing their stories, but their stories are suppressed by members of the occult. They'll come in on Facebook or YouTube and threaten them, or even get in their email inbox and threaten them. See, Chokmah, I knew about you since 2016. Little do you know, when you was in the occult, I knew about Judah Mack. I knew about all of them, the whole
Yep.
story, everything that y'all recently found out, we been knew. And we was trying to reach out to members that were in the occult. But see, when you're in it, you can't hear. It's when you come out, that's when you step back and look like, damn, all of that was going on. His wife is more treacherous than you think. And Chakman, you know it. I'm talking about
Oh yeah,
Samara.
Nathaniel's love, yeah.
She's treacherous as anything else. In fact, she's the one that introduced Nathaniel to this. So just that little bit should show you how much Cherry love. No, I can tell you stories that will bring you down to your knees. That man that you speak of, Nathaniel, is he's a walking, talking goat. And I ain't talking about goat like Michael Jordan goat. I'm talking about goat as Baphomet goat.
Bad. Right?
And
Yep.
I'm not lying. I'm talking directly to Chakman. You know I'm not lying. Everything that you just said
I
up here
know.
tonight was 100% factual. But listen, it goes deeper. That man living good. Where you think he getting that money from?
Oh, I know.
Nathaniel used to be a
My thing
detective.
is, my thing is, I my see the thing is, I'm like a dog, right? You can't you know them dogs that you give a article of clothing and then they catch a scent and they go running. That's my problem. When I get a scent on something, I can't let it go until I get to the bottom of it. I just can't help myself, and that's part of the reason how the whole Jordan Morgan thing transpired. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole rabbit hole behind that I can't necessarily put out there, because then it's, I'm gonna sound crazy. Not
No,
with
you're
not.
not crazy. No, Chakman, you're not crazy. They knew. They
I know
knew.
they knew.
Going back to the Jordan Morgan, so they knew that girl was. They knew that she was dead. They knew something happened.
Can I say something real quick on that note? Well, one minor nitpick. It's Chokmah or Chokmah, not Chokmah.
Chakman,
If it's a Hebrew word, it's Chokmah. It means wisdom. But yeah, the Joy Morgan thing was crazy. That should have killed IUIC for real.
they
But
knew.
that was one of the greatest insults to Nathaniel's egos yet, because someone like me, to for the Most High to use in such a fashion, that's detrimental to his fragile ego like that. But I know, trust me, I may not know everything, but in the spirit I perceive more, but that's the thing. And I was talking, matter of fact, and this is one of the things that maybe we could talk about the next time, Killer B, because we was talking
Uh-huh.
about it today. how deep does this rabbit hole go? Cause there, I mean, I even spoke to the lawyer of the and man, I really gotta go, but I'll say this. I s- I spoke to the lawyers of the two men that he falsely tried to imprison. And
Wow.
then and
Mhm.
they won the case. I managed to speak
That
to
was
one
back
of
in
them.
2017 or 18 or a little around that time. I know exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah. So I managed. The guy was kind of spooked. He's because he was like, "Yo, hold up, how'd you get my info?" So Chalk knows how to get some info
They be
sometimes.
dox dropping people. They did the same thing to Brother Marcus, who used to be an officer of the Virginia camp. And they dox dropped him, put all his business out there in the street on the internet, public internet when he left. This was back in 2016. That's what they do. And they go
Nah, but
into people.
I'm talking about the lawsuit that these guys won because Nathaniel was falsely accusing them that whole case, and he knew that
I
this
know
was
what you're talking
innocent.
about. I'm speaking in general what they do.
Oh yeah.
This is what they do. They threaten people. They go in their inbox, reach out to them, send people and say, "Oh yeah, I'm here to help you." Da 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 da. Get close, get enough information, and they threaten the people to keep them quiet. I have even talked to sisters who were so scared that literally moved from one state to another. One sister left the country because they threatened her so bad. Listen, that IUIC, ISUPK are dangerous. And it ain't just them. AOI, House of Israel, all of them. And they all move in the same way. Even Chokmah, you still holding on to that you's an Israelite. That's one thing, right? Well, I disagree. But here's the thing. If you look at all of their patterns, it's not by accident, it's by design. This was designed this way purposely. And it,
Me and him was
yeah,
talking about that today. We was talking about that today. Yup.
it's designed. They know what to say. They know how to appeal to your emotions. They know social justice is the big talk of today, right? It's been the real big talk for the past 4 or 5 years, right? So they play on that. I'm telling you, this is by design. It's not by accident. Nathaniel knows exactly what he's doing. And it's a money grabber.
Oh yeah.
It's about money. Listen, y'all been under the taxonomy of Christian for the past, well, IUIC, because you're not in IUIC anymore. But they've been under the taxonomy of Christian for the past, what, 2 years now. But before that, they had you under the taxonomy of Muslim, Islam. I got the documentation. I can give it to
No, I'm aware.
you. Y'all didn't. A lot of folks didn't know it. A lot of folks you might have known it, but a lot of folks in there don't know. I just spoke to another member, or I guess was seeking to be a member of IUIC, and showed him everything, and his mouth dropped here in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago.
Yup. That's the best way to
He
get them. You
said,
got to get them
"Islam, Christian,
before.
go against the
Yup.
why you can go under the taxonomy of Jewish, why or Jew or even or Hebrew. Why they didn't do that, Chakma? Why would they go under the taxonomy of Christian or Muslim? You got to start asking the right questions. It's more
I'm
questions that you need to ask.
I was asking. Then I was telling Killer B, I'm like, bro, you never paid attention. Why is it that he went to General butt naked and tried to recruit him? I was like,
That's crazy.
I was telling him, I was like, listen, that the whole background check thing, and I seriously got to go, guys, after this. But I'm gonna just drop this because I think this would be a good starting point the next time we talk. The real reason for the background checks ain't it's for two reasons. It ain't for the people's safety. It ain't for Nathaniel's safety. It's for one of two reasons. One, to grab dirt on people, so then they can threaten them later. And then two is to spot out the criminal recruits that they can use, that he can use as his pawns and his chess pieces in his organization. That's what that background check is for. And he looks for the most corrupt ones to then put surround himself with. It's all chess pieces on his board. That's what that's for. It's all
He
strategic
using
and by
everybody.
design.
He using all of them.
Real quick before you go, you just answer. You don't really have to talk about it. Do you know the pop that's with Sonetta and stuff now? She was in IUIC, and I heard the story years ago about her being stalked, and that how they put members of IUIC that's not even from that state in front of her house, like basically sitting on her house watching her. I don't know if she's crazy or not. And also there was a woman that was in IUIC, and her fiance was the leader of another Israelite group called Thug, right? And they try to get her to marry a brother that was in IUIC, and she told them that she was already engaged with another brother, and that brother went to her house with some brothers and like try to like beat her up or whatever to try to get her to submit to him. Did you ever hear anything about that?
For the safety of the people that have confided information with me, to me, that story is not unique. That story, and again, it leads into a way bigger, deeper rabbit hole. And like Cherry
He's
said,
correct.
that they do make use of everybody, even the sick and vulnerable. So I even have my suspicions about Barack Barr in that situation, but that's a whole different story.
It's a
But
whole different story. He's right.
but what I will say is that stalking thing is not unique. And again, they're so prideful that they tell themselves. But you got to pay attention. You got to have a good memory. And a lot of people don't listen in class. They just nod their head and cheer. The dude Nathaniel was talking about how I remember this one girl. She used to have a crush on me, but she was underage. She used to have a crush on me and she was in. I think you should have known her. She was back when we were still in the Bronx.
There was some all right sisters in the Bronx camp. I remember there was one. The brother was just looking and wondering if she was an Edomite or not. She was straight, and I was like, well, shit, that's me right there. But I left.
But check this out. So I would always dodge her because I wasn't trying to get into trouble. But that same young sister, she had, she was in her teens, but she was kind of fast. So guess who was undercover following her around the Eastern Parkway? Nathaniel himself. And then he was talking about it in class. And I'm like, bro, like, so you just be out here stalking people? I just so stuff like that. So stuff like that, I just put in my memory bank, and I would just not say stuff. I would just store it over the years until, everything just broke, And then I told Leon. That's why when Leon had asked me, like, yo, you gonna recover, you gonna come back, right? I say, hell no, I've never trusted you guys. And I don't trust you. I don't trust you now. I'm not going to spiritually grow until I leave here. There was a cap on my spirit. I can't grow. I'm suppressed here spiritually. And I was like, there's no more I can learn here. Because, from the scriptures, it's the same thing every week in the circle. I was like, there's more that I'm missing within my soul, and I can't get it here. And boom, and I didn't know what I was saying at the time. Really, it was my spirit talking, and that's exactly what's happened. The Most High has increased me spiritually. Nonetheless, these dudes tell on themselves. All you have to do is go back to them old videos. Then boys will tell on themselves and let stuff slide. They even do it now. And another thing too, now that you're talking about that, there was a time where's that guy's name? Avenger for Yahushua, right?
Yeah.
I used to think, me personally, when I was in IUIC, all right, I knew there was hypocrites, right? And I started waking up slowly, right? But I was like, man, this dude is crazy. The leadership ain't no what you call it, ain't no Masons or whatever. Ain't no sorcerer. But Avenger for Yahushua would make the connections and say how Asaph is a detective, and as well it works for the cops too, and that's on the third, blah blah blah. And to me, it was laughable because I'm like, I see that guy every day. He's a loser. He could barely keep up with his payments or whatever. So, to me, it was preposterous. But boy, Asaph didn't think so, because Asaph was using me as his personal spy to a double agent to try to basically find out where this guy stayed at, and because he wanted to quote unquote take care of the guy. And when he was real menacing, like he had his hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, damn, like bro, like that's kind of all right, messing with the guy, trolling him a little bit, that's one thing. But then you want me to double cross him? Like, even for me at the time, I'm like, oh, like I ain't no treacherous snake like that, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
So, and I'm like, yo, Deke, why are you worried about it? Like, who's gonna believe this guy? Like, Mason's cop, you ain't no cop. Like, but this dude, when I tell you the menacing look in his eyes, like the heat, he was heated at them videos. So I know they trying to track me down. If they haven't done, or if they ain't stalking me already. But who cares? Because I walk with the squad. I walk with the real God squad all around me.
Yeah.
So it don't phase out. It don't sweat off my back. But so I know for a fact they want my head. So
Yep.
and I'm not even going to, like with that. But for the fact that, so that's why I'm like, now, like hindsight 2020, I'm like, dang, like this dude was really stressed about what Avenger for Yahushua was saying. I'm like, now I gotta, and everything else, that all the other information I've received, and all these other people telling me that they stalking and they're being stalked as well, and everything else. I'm like, man, how deep does this rabbit hole really go?
They came to somebody came to my house posing as a sheriff, knocked on my door. This is like weeks after I left. And this was the same time when the thing with Napa, when I heard, I didn't know it was with Napa at the time, was talking about being stalked and all that stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. The motherfucker came to my door, excuse me, chair, I'm sorry. Came to my door and knocked on the door, and it was like, sheriff department. Like with that serve warrants and stuff like that. And I ain't open the door. I'm like, I ain't gotta, if not, I ain't gonna get that letter. Like, whatever. So he went back in his car, and I went outside, and he said he got the wrong address. Like, how you get the wrong address? Before you even leave to go serve a warrant, you got the address straight and where you gotta go and everything. And I found that real strange. Like, it was just like, it was weird. It was just real strange.
Like, guys like you, especially you start getting too close, bro, they definitely trying to stalk you and find out where you stay and all that. That's
well, they know where I'm at. They can play with me if they want.
Bro, Bro, they had me track down what's that group?
I agree with you, Killer.
The old school Neo Saints of Thunder, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yup.
Neo, they bro,
SOT.
I used to live, and I'm talking about the old school cats, not Sons of Thunders and the young guys. I'm talking about the old school ones that
Yeah,
have a
Neo
small,
Saint, Sons of Thunder.
yeah, right.
Yup.
So what's it called? I used to live not too far from them in East New York, and I tracked him down. I knew where he was at. Yo, these dudes wanted me to actually go over there, spy on him, and take pictures of him and everything. Like, and I was like, hold on, listen, I okay, the whole finding out, seeing where our enemies are, but why the heck do you need me to take pictures of the guy and whatnot? Like,
That's crazy.
It started getting a little too deep for you. Like, I was like, whoa, hold on, like, bro, like, this is getting kind of like out of hand. But so I never did it, but we knew where he stayed at.
Yeah.
So what's it called? Now I'm like, dang, like, yo, I really helped create this monster,
Right.
So
Me too. In the last code I was in, I created a monster too. Hugh Screech was getting at me this morning about
Well, can I say this to you both?
Mhm.
And Killer B, you'll fall in this category. To Chokmah, because you are the later generation of the Hebrew Israelite movement with IUIC. This is what I do advise, like ex-members and even people who are still in the camp but seeking to get out, because there's a lot of people seeking to get out. They're just there because out of repetition, or they're afraid to leave because they've seen what happened to other people. This is what I advise them, and this is what I will advise you, which a lot of the leadership of today of the camps don't want. Go back to the original members.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say go back to the original members, talk to them. They will tell you what you don't know. And they will tell you how can I put this? How they learned what they learned when they learned. Now, Killer B is one of those people, but there's more. A lot of the people of today, the later generation, that for the sake of conversation, I'll call it that. The later generation of today needs to look back at the early leadership, because a lot of them, even if they do identify as Hebrew Israelite, they're against what's going on right now. They will tell you. But if you niggas don't talk to them, niggas don't talk to them, why they don't want y'all talking to them?
Okay.
They treat them as if they don't exist.
True.
And I believe you'll find a lot of answers.
They got one foot. SOT, they got one foot still back in they left the cult. They was one of the first to speak out against the Hebrew Israelites.
Yep, I watched them
first. If not the first from the One West thing. If not the first. They was on YouTube long time ago. They had their little camp. They got their little doctrine. They left the cult and started their own little doctrine. They still Hebrew Israelites, but like they don't mess with none of the One West people, but they still keep the teaching, which I got a problem with. But they cool with me because they old school and they know and they speak on without any regrets or whatever of what was going on back in the day and how things was. They know more than me. Like I tell y'all what I know about the cult, but they go back farther and deeper than me. And another brother that be on my channel once in a blue moon, DJ Sean Ski. He was in the original One West with the original ISUPK. So he came out here a few times and stuff and kicked this stuff, but I talk mostly like off the stream and stuff with him. He was also in the Nawapians too, and he one of them OGs.
A lot of
No,
them is ex-Muslim
like I'm
members.
under there.
A lot of them are ex-Muslim members, Moorish, 5%ers, all kind of crazy stuff. And
Even
I
Rand.
had even ran, and I even had the pleasure of speaking with Lahab, who was one of the original 7 heads. I spoke to him and I asked him this question. Now buckle your seatbelt for this, Killer B. And it was just a theory that I had. I asked him when I interviewed him privately, because he was supposed to come on my show, but he didn't because he didn't like vocab. I asked him, I said, did you guys learn from the Bible or did you guys learn from the Mishnah, the Talmud, the Kabbalah? He said, you a smart young lady. What made you ask that? Well, I said, I'm just looking at the movement, but I said, I just would like to know. I don't like to assume. And he told me that they dealt with the Kabbalah. They dealt with the rabbinic writings first before they actually truly dealt with the Bible.
Right now, the original commandment keepers, that congregation is still alive today. Zion Lex descends from that congregation, and you could go to the commandment keepers got a website, blackjews.org or something like that. You could go to that, and they still got the thing where they teach Kabbalah on the site. On the site. Yep.
I was shocked because I suspected it was just, a theory that I had. And I had told one of my brothers in Christ, I said, I think that they were dealing with that. And when I asked him that, he said, yeah, especially the Kabbalah. So at that point, when he told me that, and this was back in 2017, when he told me that, my mouth was floored. And I said, this is why we see some of the behavior that we see. If you notice that they're trying to mix ancestry, the mixing of ancestry, and some of the women will get to talking about crystals and sage and stuff that just wasn't biblical. It was
that's hoodoo. That's hoodoo.
Yeah.
When they're dealing with stuff like that, that's hoodoo. And that's what, when you deal with the 6 and 7 book of Moses, which isn't a hoodoo book, but even Siberius the other night, that's what we was originally gonna do a video on that, because Judah Nazareth did how to curse people with the Bible. So I'm gonna be doing some videos too on the occult level and shit.
Back up. Curse with what now?
Huh? Say that again.
Curse people with the what now?
With the Bible. Because Judah Nazareth cursed all the ex-Torah night members to die, and their children to die, and their family to die, and all this stuff, right? And I showed the people where he got that from. He got it from the 6 and 7 book of Moses. Years before he did that, he did a stream, and he showed his table, and he had the book on his table. And I saw it, and I looked it up, and it was a book on spells using Psalms. Like when we were slaves and stuff like that, the whole hoodoo thing is based around the whole slave religion outside of, well, not outside and together, how they merged it with Christianity and stuff. Like that's a whole other thing. I could talk about you that off camera and all that stuff. But they use the Bible to cast spells. Like some people that look at it straight like Satan, like, know what I'm saying? But they were using it, saying like, all right, you got trouble. The slave master might be not treating you right. They go to Psalms, but they might be some kind of thing that need further research because a lot of slaves weren't literate to even read the Bible. But afterwards, like today, there's a channel, a dude I know, Swamp Water Roots, and me and Siberius was talking about him today, and somehow he going out with this dude that's in the voodoo and stuff, right? You know, the little like, people go back and forth, but he teaches hoodoo, and basically hoodoo is using the Bible, and it's like a merge with Bible and what people would call witchcraft. And like I use that, what people would call witchcraft. So like if you might need a job or somebody out to get you or something like that, they will use scriptures. This how we might use the scriptures or pray to God or to Christ to protect them. You know what I'm saying? So basically hoodoo is based around that, and like a lot of esoteric, using herbs and divination and stuff like that. But it's more of on a natural sense more than using like conventional type things. It's more like what the slaves was dealing with, because there was a movie that they just put out like a year ago or something like that, where they showed a woman. I forgot the name of the movie, but it might. What's the name of the movie? It wasn't the Harriet Tubman movie or the slave movie they made before that, and they showed a woman kneeling before the tree and praying to the tree.
Beloved.
That was the name of it. And she would sit down at the tree and say, why this happening to me? Like, why they treating me like this and stuff. That's basically hoodoo, what she was doing. That's basically hoodoo. And it's a lot. Like, I got family members that I'm finding out now that were hoodoo practitioners and was actually going from state to state and making money. Like, doing things and stuff. Siberius, the white dude Siberius that was on the other night, he came into the whole occult thing through a hoodoo practitioner that it took him in and taught him the craft. And Siberius took it and to like his own thing and other things dealing with the goetic spirits and all that stuff. But his background, his foundation is hoodoo. A dude they called I forgot what his name was. He got a channel and stuff. I forgot. He don't really post though. But this guy, he learned from a famous hoodoo practitioner called Dr. Buzzard. You can look him up. Dr. Buzzard was on like a lot of talk shows back in the day. But I think he wasn't the original Dr. Buzzard. He was the actual student of the real Dr. Buzzard. And this stuff is rampant in the Carolinas. Like my grandmother used to talk with a lady that used to live across the woods. She used to walk. I never seen her house. She used to walk through the woods to my grandmother's house. And I remember one day they was talking, and I was a young kid. I was probably like 7, 8 years old, but I remember the conversation of them talking about the man came and they had certain things and stuff like that. And I'm speaking to a lot of people that I know that family is from down there, and it is like little superstitions, like sleeping with glass of water like next to the bed or under the bed or on the headboard of the bed, little glasses of water or like little things like that and stuff. But yeah, it's basically like magic with the Bible. And that what Judah Nazareth was trying to do, but that none of that stuff worked, obviously, because we all doing good and well and stuff, and he been catching hell with it. So yeah, like old Kurt was talking all crazy up in here. Like I told him and stuff. He talking about some old demon stuff. I said I got some people that'll show him some demons and make his skin crawl up his behind. So he act all crazy. Because a lot of people like what I do, whether they Christian, whether they Hebrew Israelites or whatever. So you can act crazy if you want. So so when you be crawling, stuff be crawling on you in your sleep, don't say nothing. So yeah, but that's a whole nother story. So I got to get up out of here and stuff. I thank everybody for coming on and everything. You too, Sister Cherry, especially Mary Bennett, Neggy Springfield, Shamiam. I think Shamiam still in the chat and just didn't say a word. This took up a room on the panel.
Yeah. I'll catch you next time, Killer. It's good being on here. I like messing with you.
Yep. I hear that, Neggy. Thank you for coming on here. I appreciate it.
Take care, man.
Thank you for the invite.
Yep. Yeah, Mary Bennett, I was looking for it because I was telling them about you this morning. And we got more stuff we're gonna talk about. That
because I didn't even go deep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Losing everything and things of that nature. But yeah. So once I got word, they're like, "Hold up, girl, Killer looking for you. Get there ASAP." I'm like, "Hold up, wait a minute. Let me see."
So I mean, get on Cherry holding out on all the ladies and stuff. She talking about she got 900. You're gonna have to share some of them over here.
Because honey,
that's throughout the year.
Yeah. Because what? Yeah, it was a slew of us, Killer. And that's what I wanted to tell Chokmah. It was a slew of us. And not just any everyday Joe either. We had attorneys in this thing.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, nurses and all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They have lost or their marriage was destroyed by this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Some people had children and things like that. You just
it is sad, but it's good because it could have been worse.
Oh yeah, it could have been worse.
Drag them into it.
It could have been worse. That's right. And like I used to tell Cherry all the time, I'm a different type of breed. You can't just give me, cow manure and make me think I'm eating beef. No, I'm sorry.
Yep.
That just wasn't me. I had a mind of my own. I tell people, I talk back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but your story was no joke. And like I was listening, I was like, yo, she telling the truth. And I was telling her, I was like, did he get married yet? Did he get remarried? Or is you like I told you? Didn't I tell you that?
He had to get married
to another wife lined up for him.
Right, yeah. I mean, well, the first person I heard say that, and it took me a while because I was telling Cherry about it, and I was like, yeah, so you get 6 months to a year to convert your spouse. And Cherry was like, really? I said, yeah. And the first person I heard to ever say that was Tahar. Tahar did a video. And I shared that video with Cherry, where he telling his, I guess you call him his congregation or whatever, but he's like, just tell the dog, the female dog, you go into the store and just don't go back. He was literally telling them how to leave their spouses. If she doesn't join, this is what you do. So IUIC, they kind of put a little twist to it. You got to go through these tactics with her. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the cuddle boo thing, like you did when you first got with her. If she don't come around then you got a gaslight her. Then you don't do nothing for her. It's all these type of things. It's all tactics.
Yeah.
So
that's why
you got to get her to come around.
It's by design. You look
you
at
got to
it,
get her to come around.
Do the same thing. ISUPK, IUIC, GOCC, they all got the same pattern. What happened with Mama Mary right here has happened to all of those women and even men who don't want to come in. They got 6 months. They got less, not even that.
I mean, because Sherry's had a gentleman that had gone through this same type of thing. Only difference was it was his wife that joined. Am I correct, Cherry? Was it his wife that had the baby and she left her newborn baby to go with IUIC?
Left the baby in the hospital. Yes,
Woo!
ma'am.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So this thing has touched many, many lives
Wow.
through someone. You know,
Abandoned the baby 2 days after she had the
yes,
baby.
you abandon your newborn baby. You know, so
Wow.
It's
That's
bad.
something else, man.
you
But
know, so yeah.
I gotta run. I got somebody waiting for me outside and stuff.
Well,
This
again,
old fool want to debate you, Cherry. That dude, Kurt.
Kirk is
Kurt,
not on my level.
I
Kurt
know, but
Sam.
it'd be good to embarrass him. So I trade him off. So I trade you, Kurt, for two of the cult women that fell out. I'm
Cherry,
throwing
you
them out,
lose.
but
Oh,
I'll trade you.
Cherry,
Like,
don't do
you
that. You
do like
lose.
trading baseball cards. I'll trade you all the nuts.
I'm not fooling with y'all.
Cherry
Cherry,
been
I love
holding out.
you.
Yo, I'm kind of mad at Cherry right now. I'm kind of mad at Cherry right now. She been holding out on me.
Killer B, thank you so much for the invite. I'm about to go and end this shift.
Yeah.
My third shift started. Everybody have a blessed night. And everybody, please, please stay safe. Cherry
Yep.
Love, I love you, girl.
Yep.
I
Love
love
Cherry
you.
too. Love you too, Barry Bennett.
All right, guys, I'm out.
All right. Bye right now. All right, Cherry. I can have a talk with you later. But all right,
Okay,
and
you
Jerry
know
stealing them too. Oh, Sarah came up in here and she was like, "Yeah, Killer B," and all this stuff. Next thing you know, Cherry come out. Oh, Cherry, I see my email and all this stuff. I'm like, well, damn. I'm out of here. I'm mad. I'm hating. I'm low key hating right now.
That's
Yeah, my supporters. I like to thank all my supporters on the supporter list. Sister P, Brainstorm Homeschool Academy. I know y'all niggas thought I was gonna forget. Yasu, Victor Always, San Miguel TV, Myron Edwards, Nagy Springfield, Josh, and Bill Hill. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Peace.
all right.
Get you.